Welcome back to season 6, episode 12 of the Will Reads. Live here on YouTube. I need to come up with a new little intro countdown. I'll get that eventually. That's like the default one. It still has a nice little jingle to it.
It does.
So hi everybody. How's everyone doing tonight?
Howdy.
You guys doing okay?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Little poison
Yeah.
ivy, but I'll be all right.
Poison ivy. What were you doing? Rolling in the bushes with the boys?
Disc golf, and somehow I got it. Well, it's all in bad areas, and I didn't even pee in the woods this time. So I don't know. All right, I see the look on your eyes. I'm not going to spoil whose look I'm looking at, but yes, it's poison ivy. I saw that head tilt, and he was like, well, there's rashes in that area that might look like poison ivy.
It itches, Doc, I promise.
I promise it's poison ivy. Oh, yes.
Her name was Poison Ivy.
Right, but the antiviral, so I don't know what that's
Sure.
about.
Hey, I like the new shirt. That was hilarious.
That was good. Sure, that was a good one. We do have one new patron, so I do have to announce that before we get any further into this episode, and that would be, is it Animalia? I think it's how you pronounce the Discord name. But yeah, welcome. Thank you for your patronage. And yeah. I was going to do statistics, but I literally was away. Normally I do all this stuff like Monday, Tuesday night, or one Monday night, and I was away for a work conference. So I'm kind of just slacking. So no statistics tonight. We have giveaways coming soon, but we do have a guest tonight. So yeah, if you guys might notice, this guy down here, Cuddy Buddy. Last time you heard him, now you get to actually see if you're watching live on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is my brother, who's read the series multiple times. Who's been on the podcast before, but he's also a patron of ours. Yeah, we decided to have him come back on for a fun-filled episode. So just in case people skip episodes and didn't hear your last one, Hunter, would you like to introduce yourself and tell everyone about what you do? Or you don't have to talk about your work, but you can talk about, it's up to you. We talk about your work all the time.
You've got 5 minutes to say whatever you want right now. You can
I've heard
whatever.
a few. The plug I'm going to give is every time you talk about your brother playing football, you leave out that I played football too. I'm salty about that.
Brian played. Yeah.
I also got pancakes by Kyle Long. Chris Long was coming with me, but
So I didn't
he
know.
also kicked my ass.
Okay.
I am down in Tampa, Florida, beautiful sunny Florida, the only good city in Florida. I would fight people about that.
I like Tampa.
I am a transplant surgery fellow down here. I'm rocking the shirt. I don't know. Just got into the series because Alan, you requested, or you said you should check this out, and then
many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, decade plus later.
Mm-hmm.
What are you transplanting? Are you pulling brains out of people and putting them into cats?
Kidneys and livers.
Yeah, pancreases.
Pancreases too. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe a spleen.
Did a kidney pancreas? No, you don't need a transplant. You can live.
Yeah, you just cut them out.
No big deal.
Yeah,
Wait, doesn't that do something with the immune system, like white blood cells or something like that?
Yeah, that's where they're matured. But honestly, you can have a splenectomy and you can live a full life without a spleen.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I did not know that. I'm ready for Jeopardy now.
Technically, you live a pretty long life without a kidney too. You just have to be on dialysis the rest of your life. But
right, hooked up to
Oh
machines.
man,
And
there's like a would you rather question that we always talk about. Me and a couple other doctors always talk about. And it's would you rather live with an ostomy, like a colostomy, not an ileostomy, or be on dialysis? I would 10 times out of 10 the bag.
I'd rather have the bag.
Yeah, dialysis isn't. It sucks. And anyone who's on dialysis will tell you, it's misery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a few people.
Oh yeah.
So
guys,
on.
Yeah, and as I said, if anyone has medical questions, this is your time to ask. We just had that over there. It's the medical science corner of the Will Reads.
Yeah, the yellow Odge is here.
Well, Hunter, real quick, I'll just throw this out there. We could talk behind the scenes, but my brother's doing the math on his current kidney, and while his numbers are great, he's already on his, well, I guess fourth technically, but second that he's been given. His numbers are good and everything, but he's setting himself up. He knows another one's coming, so he might reach out to you to pick your brain about the who's who in the kidney transplant world.
Well, we are at Tampa, Florida, one of the top 10 busiest centers in the nation.
I mentioned you were in Tampa. He was like, I could do my recovery there. I was like, oh, okay.
He also
This
in the
might work
same
out.
he also in the same breath said, I used to play football with him when he was a kid. I saw how he handled football. I don't want him handling any organs of mine. So when you're little, when you're little, you used to play backyard football with us. Not when you played for the football team, but
I wouldn't let that hunter touch my organs either.
Yeah, right.
I think that's a pretty valid concern.
We're all very different people. Although, but do you remember, and then we can move on. Do you remember when we would play backyard football and we would use you and was it Marcus as lineman? But y'all were so little, like Ben Pongratz would pick y'all up and just push you into people and like toss you at people to get them out of the way. So it was like human blockers.
I've done that.
Yeah, it was like, do you know that scene from King of the Hill that's like pocket sand? Like, but it was like, it was just like full on human.
Pocket
and then
kid.
like whoever it was like not gonna like just go full speed with a kid flying at him. Like they'd like fall back and like
Right.
we never like got
That's where we
hurt
made
because
our
everyone
break.
was just like, oh shit, a kid is flying at me now.
Let me catch them and set them down gently.
Yeah.
Please, my friend.
Perfect.
Anywho, Chris
Yeah,
Long was
remember.
probably the same, right?
I think Ian, you might have broken Timothy Lamb's ribs, but
Sour.
that's
Yeah.
It's
okay.
yeah.
As far as other guests goes as well, we were going to have one next week, but we ended up rescheduling them to the week after. So not next week, but the week after. We were just on their podcast. They are coming on ours. It's going to be Talk Iran Riyadh. We're going to have them back on. So we had a lot of fun. Their podcast that had us on is live now. It's out. I would recommend highly going checking it out as we talk about taping the Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power onto mice and sending them to their death and mannequins and eagles and all sorts of stuff. That's nothing to do with Wheel of Time, because apparently that's what we.
I can't get past the eagle question. Let's be honest. It just
Yeah. Why didn't the eagles take the? Yeah.
I mean,
So simple.
the rings they corrupt completely, so they would corrupt the eagles.
But
You
they
know,
fly over the corruption and go, look at that shit. That's ridiculous. Oh wait,
Yeah.
there's a nice hobbit. Let me go shoot.
No, but if they held the ring, they would get like they would get
Oh,
turned,
true.
and they're
You're
like
right.
also like
But only if they
gods.
only if they
weird.
put the ring on, right? Not if you because
What do you
Sam
mean?
could hold Frodo that had the ring.
Yeah,
Imagine being an invisible eagle that just came in and beat the shit out of people.
yeah.
Whoa.
Then all of the ring wraiths are just like crowded around, like, well, we didn't think about this. Like,
Anybody bring a spear? Well, we just got
Yeah.
swords. Just
No,
I
that
didn't.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah. So personal life. The reason why we're doing this on Thursday and on Tuesday is because I didn't even realize until last week, and I apologize to Hunter because I had scheduled one for Tuesday and I texted him last week. I was like, you know what? I don't look at my calendar ever, and I realized I am out of town on Tuesday. I was at a leadership conference that work sent me to on my regular day job. So
Were you helping to clean the tables? Like, what were you doing there?
It was, yeah, exactly. Well, you know, one of the things they talked about is there's two different types of leaders. There are what do they say? There's
Dark friends and
smart, lazy leaders that like to delegate out, but they're really smart about it. And then there's really energetic, dumb leaders that just are really loud and energetic, but they're dumb. And that's really the two types of leaders there are. It's either one of the two.
So where
And
do you fall?
I'd rather be smart, lazy.
lazy.
Every
never
day-
check your
all day
calendar
long.
when you have a conference. Yeah.
Yeah, just delegate stuff around. Yeah.
I figured somebody would tell me when it was coming up. I didn't look at it.
That's
That
why-
doesn't
why
necessarily
have
those are
them
good
before.
leaders. That's just what most leaders end up falling into those two categories. It didn't say that makes you a good leader if you're in one of those two categories. Just a lot of
That's
leaders
interesting.
are those two. Yeah, it was really interesting. It was a good conference. A lot of just like kind of like team building and stuff like that. They did like a low ropes course and which was
So
not
he was
good.
really playing on a gigantic gymnasium, man.
It was a camp. It was actually a summer camp, like for kids, and it was hilarious because the camp counselor, you could definitely tell, like they were running the low reps course. You could tell they're used to deal with kids and not adults because they would try to like play these games with us, and they're like, "All right, so everyone has to count from one at a time. You guys name a number and get from 1 to 16 as fast as possible, and like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like just in order, like." oh, well, that makes logical sense. Kids never go in order. I was like, well, we're adults, and that just makes the most sense. So that's what we're gonna do.
I hate everything about this, and I hate the leader of you that made you do this.
Yeah, it was
He
really
was a
annoying.
lazy leader.
Yeah, just send
Well,
him to
someone,
the
someone
camp.
asked the camp counselor, like, I think one of the questions, like the big group was like, tell us the most craziest thing that happened at summer camp over the weekend or over the summer. And I just blurted out from the entire group. I was like, guys, ever seen Wet Hot American Summer? And he just starts like blushing. I was like, I told you, that's exactly what happened.
Every time.
Every time.
I have
Yeah.
never seen that.
It's like a
Oh.
pimply-faced 16-year-old kid that's like running your seminar. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was a college kid. He was a JMU summer break
Even-
kid.
even
Even better.
Even
A
better.
JMU kid.
It's fantastic.
He just keeps looking over at the quad, checking out the girls sunbathing, like only halfway paying attention to the class he's giving you.
Yeah, he's like, what's the worst thing that happened this summer? And like his eyes glaze over, and he's like, there's a non-disclosure. I can't talk about Penny drowning.
All I can say is technically I died twice.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So how about you guys? What's going on new with you guys?
I also went to a conference today. Little different. It was in my downstairs, and there were 4 kids. And apparently, what happened first was they were gently tossing the frisbee inside, which we allowed in the downstairs area. That's their area. We're also renting, so if something breaks, I'll be like, "No, bro, it was like that." And somebody had a bad throw. So the first throw was an accident. Somebody had a bad throw. It bounced. It hit somebody. They were like, "Ow." Well, so they went to take the disc and throw it at the person that accidentally threw it at him and hurt them. But everybody's bad at throwing down there. So they threw it, hit one of the other kids in the face. And then the other one went to go jump in to help their sibling. But then their sibling thought that they were the guy that hit them. So they threw a punch. And then before you know it, like all these kids that like they get along so well. It was a brawl. It was a melee. And by the time I got down there, like before I jump in, I want to figure out whose side I'm going to pick, So I'm watching. I'm like, who am I rooting for? And I'm looking. It devolved into every man for himself. Like nobody was teaming up with anybody. Wherever anybody could make contact was being made. And I probably should have stopped it sooner, but it was so entertaining. I had to watch it for a little while.
This is how people learn. You have to learn from your experiences. So you allow them the opportunity to learn.
Yeah. So when they all got tired, because if you've ever been in a real fight, like after 30 seconds, you're like, well, I'm exhausted. And then they all just start crying and whining at each other. So we talked about it, and I don't even think I gave great advice because I was just thinking in the back of my mind how awesome that was. Yeah. So
awesome.
That was my conference. I don't know if it's similar to what you went to, Alan, but
very, very similar. Yeah, that's no.
A lot of crying, a lot of bitching. Gotcha.
A lot of crying.
Well, it's weird. It's weird when you go like one of these like business because this was done by the local chamber of commerce, so it's like not just business people. Like, so there's an army colonel that's in our group, like, and it's like you're teaching leadership from a camp counselor teaching an army colonel about.
Yeah.
Was he a good sport about it though?
He was a great sport about it, but it was just hilarious. I'm like,
he's like, I'm ready to take over whenever you want me to. Just tag me in.
I bet you he had a lesson plan ready to go in case things fell apart. I promise you that guy was ready to step in.
Yep. He's like, I got a 20-minute speech that will change
your
life.
I'm sure you can appreciate that. This is one of the things. Anyway, so
yeah.
How about you, Chris?
So we have we're on the down slope now of getting people moved in. I spent my entire weekend, the last weekend, moving people in. I had like a little bit of time Sunday to myself, and then Monday I had like 34 years, 1 cavity. All of a sudden this year, 2 cavities pop up out of nowhere. Now
all that ice cream you eat on stream, man. It's all the ice cream you're eating.
Probably what it is.
You switch to bottled water. You need to get that tap water flowing in you. Get that fluoride.
Tap water, but I don't think it's as good as the tap water back home.
That might be it.
It tastes different, and I didn't think about that. But
also chemtrails, large airport there.
huh.
No, please don't consider that. I was being stupid.
No, I'm like, now you get my wheels turning. Like, maybe I need to get filtered water and then add some fluoride to it. No, but anyway, like, so they were watches for years, and so finally I had to get these things taken care of. Those 4 damn shots in my gums whooped my ass. Like, I have never in my life, because the first time around when I had my first cavity, doctor's like, Dr. Box from Newport News, he's like, this won't take long, not even gonna numb you, just zip and then put stuff in. I was good. This woman's like, you're too big, we're gonna make sure you don't feel anything. I still felt it. She put 4 big ass shots inside my jaw, kept filling me up, and waited a while. The first tooth she hit, I just like felt it right away. I was like, you know what? Those shots hurt too much going into my jaw. I'm just going to take the pain. It is. I went home thinking I was going to take an hour rest and go back to work. I woke up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I had them filled at 9. That thing really, it took it out of me. I'd never in my life.
Dunsky.
Yeah. I was done. Like, my body was like shocked.
Dude, when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, 3 of the 4, so they were already in, they numb, then they cracked them, pull them out. 3 of the 4, no problem. But then one of the top ones, they kept trying to inject with the Novocaine numbing shit, and they'd go to crack it, and I was like, no, I can still feel it. No, I can still feel it. And he was like, man, well, and he looks at his watch and he's like, I've got a 3 o'clock and I'm already late for it. And he just goes, and cracks it. And I'm like screaming bloody murder, screaming so loud, kids are crying in the waiting area. And there's a doctor here, so maybe he could confirm this. But the dental hygienist afterwards was all apologetic. And she was like, so they're taught like where the nerve is, but at least in the jaw area, like not everybody's is really in the same spot. So like they try to hit it, but it's not one you could really feel for. So they're kind of guessing as they stick you.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty like everyone's built a little different. I mean, there's like landmarks that you go by. But when you're doing any sort of block, you got to check if the block's set. Like you like do it and you're like,
they were like, this dude is
so
big.
If the patient's crying and screaming, you might have missed, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna like lose my medical license on this show tonight. They're like,
everybody knows we embellish our stories here. Like,
Yeah.
I've had to tell my girlfriend that there's a inch of truth and a whole lot of BS.
Oh no.
I mean, but there is definitely a like rip the Band-Aid off mentality, and like you can like there's only a certain amount of like lidocaine you want to put in like gums, especially since they're probably going to use like they're going to infiltrate it a lot, and then he's just like rip the Band-Aid off, just get this over with, just do it.
I was
and
great
like,
when
there's been plenty of times where patients have been like uncomfortable with the procedure, and it's like, and then your head, you just like turn off. You're just like, just get the procedure done. Like you're like, they're screaming, they're like writhing around, and you're like, they need
gotta
this.
Finish.
Just do it.
It's gotta happen. Yeah.
Dr. Box was smart when he took the wisdom teeth out. He was like, you see this mask? Take a real deep breath.
Deep breath. Come back.
Yeah.
He was like, he literally looked at me and said, you're big as shit. I'm putting you to sleep.
There you go.
Because he said, because you will not hit me. And that there was no conversation. He didn't ask. Again, I went to school with his son. So
you're going
like,
9-9.
Back at home, I was taken care of because he was going to tell me what I was going to do. And that was the end of it. Here, they were all like, we're going to stick you with these needles. You'll be okay, right? I'm like, sure. And it was like 4 needles. I'm like, I think that's a little much. But okay. Anyway, tomorrow I head to Atlanta. And I'm getting my tux for the wedding. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. So we're that's
a big move.
Yeah, we're wrapping things up. Hopefully it looks like it's supposed to and it fits like it's supposed to. If not, they're gonna be pretty upset because I'm gonna ask for my money back.
So between now and then, you're just gonna stay in the shape you're in. Is that the goal? Mm-hmm. Just where you're at right now, that's whole.
I mean, I could probably afford to lose another 20-25 pounds and still not have to do too much more than wear a belt.
Sure.
Because I don't lose much mass in my shoulders. I don't mind my shirt and jacket.
I've noticed that
because Chris is swole.
I just a little bit. Just a little bit. Like oh yeah. Like the weight that I've been losing now is literally all like thighs and ass. Like I can afford to lose that. My
No,
waist,
stop that.
If
Stop
you're
it.
losing ass, you got to go tails on your
but
toes.
no,
You gotta-
it's tone though, so it becomes bubbly. So like right now, it's like a big bubble. Like you take a balloon, like a water balloon,
Okay.
you kind of do this, and it kind of sags like that.
But are you worried? I mean, I know
Yeah.
you're losing weight. You say you're losing weight here and there, but are you still hitting the gym? I mean, are you worried about maybe bulking a little more? Or
Yeah, I mean, my shoulders have gotten massive. My chest is bigger than what it was, but my waist is smaller.
what do you mention these days?
The max I've done is 385 because I got Chanel spotting me.
385, bitch.
And then the most I've done on the squat lately is 605.
All right, kids, earmuffs. Chris, get the fuck out of here.
I was
I don't think my squat, deadlift, and bench together is 385.
I was repping out 585 on the deadlift, just like 3 sets of 10 with that. So like
You're one of them guys that as you're lifting in the gym, I'm looking over and like the Olympic bar is not vibrating or jigging a little bit. It is flexing all over the place.
my shit bends.
I love it.
It's funny because I always show up and like looking the ratty. It's like I don't look like a gym person. I'm not like super toned. So I walk in and I've got like blue sweatpants that are high waters because you can't find anything for 6'6" and my size without it being hideous. And then I've got like a purple shirt from my chiropractor. And I typically go first thing in the morning or after I've already warmed up. So my hair is all disheveled and I'm wearing my glasses and I'm wearing like my dress socks with my tennis shoes. You can see my dress socks. And so people look at me like, the fuck is this dude doing here? Literally, yesterday I had a guy come up and he was like taking the weights because he saw Chanel there. And she was like, we're using those. And he like looked
I
at her
need all the weights.
He took a plate and put it on his rack. And so I stepped over. She's like, I said, I need that. And he's like, you really need this? And she points at me and he's like,
oh,
do you need this? Like he had that question mark. I said, just leave it. As a matter of fact, put it on. They put all of them on. He looks at me and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty easy. I probably should borrow some of yours.
he should have hugged you because I knew the first time I hugged you, I was like, he's a big guy. What kind of big guy is he? Couple pats on the back, and I was like, holy shit, there's some density there that I am just never gonna pick a fight with this guy ever. Yeah.
It's like when you go to the lat machine, you start out with 50 and you're just getting a nice little pump. And then the punk across from you looks at what you're doing, and he's like, I'm doing the same thing. And he jacks up to 90 and he starts doing it. And then you're like, oh,
Let me max it out.
You jack it up to 130. And so you hit it at 130. Then he goes to 150 and so
Still
okay.
warming up.
So then I'm like, all right, I drop it to 200 and pull the 200 down.
I just be doing pull-ups, on the
All right,
lat
I'd lift out of the seat.
He's constant there to 200, and then Chanel goes, "Are you ready to work out now?" I'm like, "Yeah." She drops it to the 295, and it's like, bah! He's like, "Okay, fuck you."
I bet she loves that.
Anyways, so 3 things. One, Hunter, do you want to do personal life or anything new in your world?
No.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, what? Same thing, different day.
Okay. Yeah, just saving lives. All right.
Sure.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you for your
It's what you
service.
do. It's what you do. It's good. It's good. Chris, also, I did Google it real fast. Charlotte Tap Water has over the years been scaling back their fluoride. So
that makes perfect sense. Then.
they've been scaling back heavily on their fluoride.
The government's not controlling you anymore.
Yeah, they've been scaling back on it.
This is what freedom feels like.
Yeah.
And the third thing is
they know, like you're trying to see the real world.
Hopefully he's paying attention so he can turn his camera on. So I'm gonna bring this guy in real fast, and hopefully he turns his camera on. So Jake is always back scene every single show we do. And he's been on our podcast plenty of times, but when a lot of these gifts show up while we're doing it, Jake's actually the one hitting those buttons and putting the banners up so I can focus on running a show. But it is Jake's birthday today.
What?
So,
No way.
I had to bring him on our stream just for a second before I put you backstage again.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We'll get there, Mr. Jake. Happy birthday to
DJ.
To you.
Thank you, guys.
And at least a
You're
few
welcome.
more.
Just at least a few.
Yeah. But thank you, Jake, for everything you do. And now you can go backstage and keep helping us out. But you're doing on your birthday. You came out to still help us. So.
I'm drunk.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Yay. And he's backstage again. All
My
right.
birthday? I forgot what day it was.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just wanted to say happy birthday to him since he does do so much for the channel. And embarrass him because I like to do that. So you guys ready to jump right in? We've been like 30 minutes haven't we started this actually. Ready to get into this?
Supposed to read again?
Chapter
What book is this?
22, heading
Oh.
south.
Sure.
The one
yeah,
that Ian
I
read like
started
2 weeks
early.
ago.
Only
Yeah.
half of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I have to say,
Yeah, it's a-
Ian,
it's-
I was
it's gonna-
slightly alarmed.
Yeah. It's a Matt chapter. So
I try to jazz it up a bit to get you super excited, but there's some cool shit that happens here.
Oh,
This
there
definitely
isn't
was.
a bum chapter at all.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
The
Matt
next
chapter.
two were.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, you got Matt just doing his thing and just
What
getting into
is
trouble
Matt's
and being
thing?
like, why am I always in trouble?
In your
Oh,
opinion, what is
Father.
Matt's thing? Tell us more.
yeah.
Tell me more.
So we'll tell you. So Matt's juggling. That's what he's doing. That's Matt's thing.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
juggling some
Balls.
stones while riding the head of his army. He's thinking about Tom Maryland, and he's wondering, if Tom's still alive.
Definitely dead. He's like,
I
that
haven't
guy.
had
Definitely
much
dead.
information about Tom in a while.
Well, he's with.
He's still with the ladies, right?
No, they sent him off.
No,
I
they
think.
sent him
Oh.
off on a mission.
Yeah, on a
That's
mission, and they were checked in. Yeah, Julian and Tom left.
Yeah.
They went on a
Right.
super secret squirrel mission.
Well, Tom's love of his life is dead. So, like, what else is there?
Yeah, now what?
Yeah.
Now what?
He's
And-
gonna go.
Points.
He's going to save her. I don't know if you've been keeping
Sure.
up completely, but Moraine is not dead, and
No.
the quarantine is still going to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
He's gone now to get his white robes. So
Sirius isn't dead in Harry Potter either. You fall through the veil and you're.
I know.
you're
Well, I
fine.
mean, you have no idea where the veil leads. Maybe the veil is a waygate, and
Maybe Sirius has been there the whole time.
He's
Could
just
be.
in another
Exactly.
mirror world, an alternate universe, and he's finding his way back.
that broke my heart. Though I actually paused when I was reading the book and had tears a little bit there, and then reliving it in the movie was traumatic.
Oh, for Sirius Black? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
rough.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Matt being Matt.
So Matt's juggling
so
balls.
Matt's juggling balls, thinking about Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're traveling together, boy.
That's-
Let me tell you.
Yep.
That's what I do when I'm
Matt
thinking
is a
about
hard
Tom.
man.
Yeah,
And his
exactly.
mustaches.
And his mustaches. That's a mustaches ride. And as
Yeah, be
he's
careful.
as he's thinking about all his friends and what they're up to, one of the I guess it's Kyrian, Nalcine, comes up and just interrupts him and starts talking. He's like, "So Matt, you ever wonder what it's like to be a warder? Like, would you want to be a warder?" And Matt's like, "No." Like never.
Remember that scene in Office Space? It reminds me of the one that's like, does anyone ever ask you if you ever had a case of the Mondays? You guys,
Oh yeah.
no,
Yeah.
No.
fuck no, man.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Your ass kicked for saying something like that.
Be a warder?
Yeah,
Fuck
like-
no.
He starts stroking his medallion, nah, bruh. I'm anti those people. This will never happen. I mean, it's a valid question though. Matt could afford some extra help. I mean, he's always getting himself into trouble, always finding himself in a fight. Why not have that additional ability to have, the speed and the strength and the healing and all of that? It would be a huge benefit to him, but
Remember, he seems to embrace these additional gifts he's getting without question. He noticed them and he's like, well, that's kind of cool. He doesn't freak out about it as much as everybody else, but he also doesn't ask for it and he doesn't want it. He doesn't celebrate it. He's still just trying to find a way to not be doing this.
yeah.
yeah.
it blew my mind throughout the whole books. Like Robert Jordan made the Ta'Veren concept of like these people weave the pattern around them, and you got the 3 boys doing all this stuff. And like they just take that at face value and don't realize that like, yeah, they're going to keep getting in trouble because the whole pattern is shifting around them.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, whatever. I don't want to be a hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna just dip out.
I've got ultimate plot armor, but whatever.
Yeah. So what? Okay, that leads to a good question. How much do we differentiate between an Aes Sedai and their warder, that bond, versus the Ta'Veren pool that we keep finding between at least Matt and Rand right now? We've seen Perrin be able to dip away a little bit and take care of some business, but Matt's been trying to dip. And every time he dips, he's like, here's something I have to do that keeps me here. I
always viewed like the warder bond more like tying a knot, a rope between 2 people. Like it's a lot more of a stringent thing than like Ta'Veren's more like magnets. Like it's there's a pull, but it's not like you're not like attached.
And Ta'Veren's like so much bigger. It's like the weave of the pattern, like the whole, everyone's all strands or what they do is like around you. And unless you get finger blasted, then you're then the pattern's going to keep.
Well, and one's supposed to be consensual. Like when you become a warder, it's supposed to be consensual when you're being.
Well, that's out the window.
It is now.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but
a lot of need some lesson.
Technically, we've got a 2 for going because was it Elaine saved Brigitte technically without her consent? I mean, it was bond or die. So I guess we all feel a little better about that.
But Rand was not bond or die. That was just
it's not like you're powerful. Have a DNR or anything.
It's like, look at his booty. I'm gonna just bond that shit. Yeah. You mind? Tag.
Yeah, but I feel like Brigitte, that's different. It's like
different. It is.
I think it's different,
but still no consent.
Bottle, like take a whole bottle of Viagra, and it's like either you lose it or you use it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
Wait,
okay.
If I take a whole bottle, you're telling me I can fuck my way out of that problem?
No, see a doctor.
You're not allowed to answer that question.
Before I thought I might have a heart attack, but if you're saying all I have to do is just keep on going.
A heart attack's like a broad term.
You would get bored with that. Like, you would get bored. Honestly, you just be like, okay, I'm over this.
No, you probably would.
I'd get creative, not bored.
You'd end up with something called priapism and might lose your penis, or have someone
all right, I'm not
drain your vein.
Drain your vein. Yeah.
Are we talking metaphorically?
No,
no, literally.
Drain your vein.
Never mind, not doing that.
Not fun. Safe word.
Safe word. So yeah, Matt says
Matt grimaced.
Grimace says, don't think about Aes Sedai. I try not to. You shouldn't either. Stay with my Aes Sedai. And then they bring up Dragon Sworn. And I love Matt's reaction to that. It's like, not my problem. That's Rand's problem. I don't care. I don't care. Which I just love that. Yeah, I don't care about that. That's Rand's problem, not mine.
Although how Jordan will like very early on sprinkle something that is meaningless now, almost a joke, haha, and then later on, like it turns into something big. So like right now, all of our characters still look at each other for who they were. So this is Rand, this is Rand, this is Rand. Is there going to be a point where Matt looks at Rand and realizes he's transitioned to a point where, okay, that's not Rand anymore. This is the Dragon Reborn, or this is Luz, or, he scoffs at it right now because he's like, Rand's problem, whatever, Rand. But at what point do you go, okay, wait a minute. He's the fucking Dragon Reborn. This is really, actually happening.
Matt will ever get to that point. Like Matt is openly saying, I know I'm Ta'Veren, and I know I have this pool and I'm trying to fight it and get away from it. And the more I fight it, the more shit's pulled to me. So I'm just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cognitive dissonance, like that they all just always are just like, we're just the same 3 old boys from the 2 rivers, just having a great time as they're like actively shaping the whole world, like causing like nationwide conflicts. And it's like, we're just doing our thing.
No biggie. It's kind of like the American Revolution.
Yeah.
And I did put a disclaimer. Thank you, Jake. Due to legal reasons, anything that's on here, it sounds like medical advice, is not actually medical advice tonight. So just letting you know.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
You want to die tonight? Take a whole bottle of Viagra.
Look, y'all even heard me listen to the advice and go, okay, I'm not going to do that. And if I'm not going to do that, no one should do that.
Yeah, you did.
On-
The word dumb shit comes to mind.
This will be a long night. All right. So, and then as all this conversation is happening, a very portly scout shows up, and I love how Matt's recruited his scouts. Like, he explains like how he, and then explains this is like an overweight guy, but like one of the fastest, best scouts out there because he's a horse thief and like he's just stealing shit and running for his life.
and knows how to do it like undetected. So
Right, yeah.
this is obviously
Strategic.
this has got to be some. I don't know. This is one of these things that might be a blend of Matt thinking outside the box because Matt has always wanted to be outside the box. Like that was his personality when we first met him.
True.
But also could be the influence of the voice that's now creeping up in him or whatever.
Right.
But either way, it's genius. Well, it's genius if you're mission focused, right? If you're focused on the law and what's legally right, or even if you're focused on morality and what's morally right, you might trip up on certain things. But if you're like,
But
I
you just took a-
need this effect, then and you don't let anything else influence that decision. I need a person that could do this, and you don't care where they come from, so long as they could do it and be loyal to you. Like that opens up.
Yeah.
But see, he took scoundrels off the street and gave them a purpose.
Yeah.
And then gave them a sense of being and team
Without trying to
And-
change them.
Yeah. Well, that's inherent. He gave them a mission. When you give them the mission, it's inherent, the change.
But using
Then-
those skills and talents, I'm saying not trying to like change them,
Like with you, Ian.
but trying to find.
It's like, so like if you want to hire like someone to be a surgeon, you fire like serial killers that like to cut people
Yeah,
open.
yeah, sure.
And,
sure,
and
that's what you
to
do.
make them into
that,
No,
that
no,
doesn't,
no,
that doesn't
no.
work. The skilled serial killers started as surgeons.
He
Uh,
no. He worked his way up like to find the head of Mary Kay. It was like multi-level marketing. It was like he found the
did,
first
yeah.
7, and then he's like, "You 7, like tell me who your bosses are." And then I was like, "Tell me who you're." And they
They got
finally got to like, this, like-
47 scouts
Yeah.
out of all horse thieves.
and there's like a
Genius.
great like. Do you remember that SNL skit like Bill Brasky? Like, oh, Bill Brasky, he's 7'5", and like well, like they all just like talking about him. So like he could steal a hen and he'd steal the eggs right underneath the hen. Like, oh, Chovan, and he could like the nobleman
Yeah.
wouldn't even know for 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, so let me say this, and then we can move on to the second sentence of this chapter. When when I was at elementary school, surprise, surprise, well, really in school in general, I was not a great student behavior wise. Like I always thought I was smarter than the teacher from kindergarten.
and you probably
Um,
were.
I talked too much. I was there more to joke and socialize than I was to learn anything. But I've always had this knack for leadership, and it's not something that like I went after, but there always seemed to be a group of people that followed me. And I had a teacher as early as 2nd grade, and I remember Miss Pugh Scott. She was amazing. She gave me the whole lecture of like, it's important like for you to behave and you to listen and you to help out, because everything you do, there's 6 people in the class that are going to do exactly what you do.
You were like,
and-
wait, what?
Yeah. So she got smart, and instead of trying to break me and be like, you will behave, let me put the dunce cap on you and sit you in the corner or slap your knuckles, she was like, all right, Ian, this is your team of people. I'm going to go over the lesson once. All right. You're going to listen to it. They're going to listen to it. But then you're going to help them figure it out and learn it and get through their worksheets or whatever we're working on while I help the rest of the class. So like,
It's
I don't know,
tier
you-
1
you-
versus tier 3 strategy. You're a tier 1 learner. Therefore, you have greater knowledge than what is currently being taught. And you have the capacity to teach others because they listen and then they suck you with a bunch
Well,
of tier 3s. Which,
and I speak their language
correct.
because
You-
I
you
relate
understood
to them better than the
goal.
teacher ever could.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the staples of like in medical school is you learn, you do, and then you teach? like to reinforce like different concepts. Yeah.
See one, do one, teach one.
Yep. You take your
yeah.
Learn one, do one, teach one. Yeah.
you
So-
take
some-
your tier 3 and you pair them with a tier 1, and this is now theory. Back then she was genius. Now it's practice.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's a little hint of that in what Matt's doing. He's like, I'm not gonna change you. I'm gonna look at the skills you have and turn you into something very beneficial to work towards the mission here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Chell Vannon comes up. The scout says, "Hey Matt, you're gonna want to see this." Like, what is it? He goes, "You're gonna have to see it. Like, it's bad."
Yeah, when I
And-
heard that, I was like, dude, something really messed up just happened. Because
I don't even
cue
wanna
the
talk
Ron
about that.
Howard voice, like he didn't want to hear, like he didn't
Yeah.
want to see that.
when
Mhm.
Jordan writes with the serious tone, it's like, yeah, something really jacked up just occurred.
Yeah.
And consider the people that are talking. Like they've seen some shit already.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're probably a little more callous than a lot of people. And we know we're about to walk into something that is going to turn their stomach. I don't want anything to do with this.
Correct.
Yeah. And it takes Matt over the hill, and sure enough, there's an entire camp of Tinkers, but they're all dead ski. Completely brutalized, murdered. Everyone's dead. And
So, Hunter, who do you think did this?
I was going to ask you that
What are
question.
your thoughts, Hunter?
And
And why
At
do you think
this-
it's the White Cloaks?
at this point in the book, who do I think did it?
done
It all comes down to like the writing on the cart, like tell the Dragon Reborn,
Dragon Reborn.
like they're in the
Yeah.
castle of
Is that
That's the
did you
only
write that
thing I
out?
had in my notes, and you beat me to it.
The
Yeah.
Castle of The Castle of Og. I don't know the Castle of Og.
Yeah, maybe it's the castle of
So
Oh.
let's just go a little bit darker, and then we'll get funny again. How about when they realize how the bodies are laid out and how the men formed a line, and everything we know about Tinkers, like they weren't going to fight back, but you could
Mhm.
see like the men and the dogs like sprawled out as if they were trying to form a line to protect the women and children as they ran away. Like, fuck, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, like, on a much smaller scale, like the emotions that Robert Jordan kind of put Matt having are the same of like when something bad happens or a patient passes away, unfortunately, and like you show up or like you get there for a trauma, like you do like turn off for a little bit and you look at it like completely analytically, but then like the wave of like emotions hits you of like what actually happened, like, but you hit it and you're like, they were here, then this happened, and you're like, okay, but then it's like they hit you that it was a person with a life and stuff.
Yeah. Even all of them already being dead and on the field, he takes a moment to recognize and feel the emotion of the attempted sacrifice that the men were trying to.
Well, yeah, he's like, why didn't you tell me about this? I didn't need to see this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like that was
It hit him.
Yeah. And you made the comment, why was it the White Cloaks? I don't think this was the White Cloaks.
You think it was Aiel?
No. I
Dark Friends, Forsaken,
don't
Yeah, who
have
do you guys think it was?
Bandits.
that's the hard part. Like I can't see the White Cloaks doing this because, well, I don't know. Maybe
Do you know why I think White Cloaks?
because the
and
women and children
no.
were all killed.
Check this out, though. This is why to me it makes sense. If it was Aiel that took him out, they wouldn't even have had a chance to try and form some sort of
No, they
defense. There wouldn't have been this is where the attack's coming from, and the women and children are going to run that way. The White Cloaks to me are like what the Redcoats were. Like they're going to form up in front of you because they know they can overpower you, and they're just going to march towards you. And that's what the death layout looks like. You see the men and the dogs.
Yeah, I
they
agree
see the
with
attack
that.
coming. They have time to make a line and to stand and do some amount of protection.
It's just so hard to think that the White Cloaks would do that. Like I don't. There weren't any trials.
More death.
Yeah, that's
Remember,
true.
they're influenced.
That's true. But the Tinkers, it's hard. I mean, I'm gonna.
That's what she said.
I'm gonna have to agree with you
Ah.
because I don't see any other group doing it. If it was Trolloc, there would be more chaos, and if it was Aes Sedai, we probably wouldn't see blood. Now, Aiel, they just don't strike me that way. The Shido, I still don't think would do that. I think they would take the women and children as captive, maybe, but still.
But
The Shido are
the
being
pattern
held
of death
too.
doesn't match up to the pattern of attack that we even see coming up in a little bit here. At least
I
that's where
know,
my mind is. And
because
if I'm wrong and it was Aiel, then I love Robert Jordan. Y'all know that. Then he might have messed up in describing how these people died and how they were laid out, unless it was
well,
staged that way.
I was gonna say I think more or less maybe there was confrontation, because the one thing we know about the Aiel, though they're skilled at what they do, they're also coming at the Tinkers with a different frame of thought now. Like you all once were Aiel, or we were once you. You're a disgrace to us, so we're going to disgrace you. So it's almost like taunting.
So maybe there was some conversation first,
Yeah.
and then it unfolded. I guess it's possible, but
Not that I mean, and not to sway who did what or what the answer is, or if you'll ever know the answer. But I don't think the IO would even have to flank. Like they would probably just show up, run through them, and be so much faster than the women and children. It's like
I wouldn't even think you'd see a separation between the men and women and the children.
Just
it would be a pile of bodies doing whatever they were doing at that moment. One would still be by the cook pot.
Yeah.
That's
what do you think they were trying to tell the Dragon Reborn then? Tell the Dragon Reborn
that the Holy Grail is in the castle of
Anthrax, Castle of Anthrax.
That they found the song.
We all need spankings. We've been very bad.
They found the song.
So that's what I thought. Or maybe they're like, we know the harmony. If somebody knows the melody, we got this shit.
Got it.
That's why they got killed. They were sitting there just like doo-wopping, like
a little Motown.
We got it. For the longest time.
Motown.
For the longest
time.
Apparently not long enough for him to finish his sentence. Jeez.
So anyway, after all this, Matt's like goes back to the army, says, "Okay, let's make camp here."
Hold on.
And
Stop.
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
No, in the name of love. No, actually, it's hammer time when you think about it. So he took the time to write "Tell the Dragon Reborn." Tell the Dragon Reborn. I'm going to give that. There's room for 2 words, really, if you keep it short. So let's say he had the opportunity to write 5 words before he died. He could have said, "White cloaks. Aiel did it. Grail in French castle.
Yeah.
Beware the white rabbit." I mean, he could have been more like, if you know you're about to die, get rid of like all of the unimportant stuff.
It's only a flesh wound. Yeah. That works.
Yes, thank you. 5 words.
5 words. Yeah.
You forgot Tiz. Tiz was in there somewhere.
Tis only a flesh wound.
All right, that's all I got. Now you can.
Okay. So Matt tells the army to make camp. And Matt decides to, even though he just saw a horrific scene, instead of sleeping in his tent, he's like, I want to go count the constellations and sleep outside.
Taviran.
Yeah.
As if the pattern said,
don't sleep in your bed tonight.
Yeah.
Matt.
And as he's sleeping outside, he hears something and wakes up to see a bunch of Aiel go into his tent and then come right back out, obviously looking for him. And
were they
love
Aiel? Like, were they?
I love this. So Matt sneaks away, and Talmanes, drunk, comes on the hill. I was like, Matt, what's up, dude? I see you. Why aren't you talking, man? I'm trying to talk to you. Like, dude, we had so much cool whiskey over there, and I am trash. And Matt's like,
he is not a happy drunk like that. He's like, dude, you can just wash the dreams away. Just fucking get hammered with it. Yeah, like, we can just not dream about anything. Just wake up tomorrow.
So when I first read through it, and when I first read through it, I was thinking Tamanis was doing that on purpose because he knew the Aiel were there and he was trying to find a way to like get closer to Matt to help him. But you're going to a hard no. Okay.
I'm going hard no.
So right. So after listening, after the read, I don't feel that as much, but technically there was nothing that erases that as a possibility other than Matt being like, oh, you fucking moron. Would you just stop? Like, yeah.
Yeah, but he also is like, with Tamanis making so much noise, I could probably
Dip.
Yeah. Do the real
Sorry,
Matt
Tamanis.
Puffin thing.
What happens?
This is why I love Tamanis, because I picture Tamanis as I see a lot of myself in him. Like literally, we're under attack and no one knows one other person, and I'm the guy walking in with a bottle of Jim Beam, be like, "Yo, Ian, dude, I got this new bottle. We gotta try it." Like Ian's like, "Shut up!" Like we're being attacked, and I'm like, "No, there's whiskey." Like
that totally happened.
Let's drink.
the beer pong night where some people that nobody knew showed up with guns. But decided to pistol whip instead of shoot.
Yep.
Like that's what I thought of during this, because nobody thought anything serious was about to go down until it fucking went down, and we're like, "What the fuck just happened? Who let them in here?" And everybody's like, "I don't know where they come
trash." And all of a sudden, like, a fight breaks out. It grows outside, and like I walk outside, like, "Hey, we're fighting, cool!" And I see a guy like pull a gun and start walking back into the party. I was like,
Not
"Oh."
Cool. That's great for Newport News.
This escalated quickly.
I'm like, well, he's inside.
Run away. Brave Sir Alan.
If I could just walk 2 more paces, I'd have 50 men in between me and him.
Exactly.
All right,
I will give. I'm not going to give names because it was a really disturbing night. But it was a college party, and some people from downtown Newport News and from the hood showed up to this party at a college party. And they came packing. They lost a game of beer pong. They got upset. They went outside to their car, grabbed a pistol, started to come back to fire. And I will give it to the one little kid. I'm not going to say his name, but he literally, I've never seen as big balls as a kid. He walks up to the guy with the gun and puts his forehead into the barrel of the gun and says, "What, you got 9, 10 shots in there? There's 100 of us. Start with me."
Wow.
and the guy pistol whipped him and then ran. So he ended up getting stitches and everything like that. But no shots were fired.
Hey.
But I was I had never seen anything like this. I was just like, what? Yeah.
Are we in a movie? Cut? Can we discuss this?
He had a little bit of tequila that night and it was feeling himself.
That kid was he was crazy.
Hunter, so this we should tell people, and maybe Hunter can chime in a little bit. There are many sides to Newport News.
It's a beautiful conglomerate of people. You know,
right. Alan and I have shared stories, and Chris has shared. We've all shared stories that might make you think there's nothing but horrible things in Newport News, and that's not true.
No,
there are some great, beautiful things. There is a way to carve a path that leads you to be a transplant surgeon in Tampa. It is possible.
It's possible.
Yeah,
that is one possible. And when I say one possible, just one.
Just one.
Just one. And Hunter walked it and he covered his tracks, and no one will ever find that path again.
It's an interesting place.
It is an interesting place.
Do you enjoy that you grew up there, Hunter? Like,
what do you mean?
Do you enjoy that?
No,
like,
it was home. What do you? Home is home.
It is.
I'm still there. This is Newport News in the background right now. This is Newport News.
But you appreciate it. I joke about. So in that, I was joking that maybe there might have been a little sheltering of Hunter or anything like that. But you saw Newport News just like the rest of us, right? Do you appreciate that? I'll say diversity. You could say diversity. There's so much more to that, but I'll just say diversity. Do you appreciate that as part of your background?
Sure. I mean, you see a lot of, definitely a lot of people that I work with, have trained with, did school with throughout the years, came from a less diverse background and suffer from that.
Sure.
Have a closed-mindedness and just haven't, I don't know. they think things should be a certain way and don't take into account that like not everyone is or has the luxury that was afforded to.
Right.
I mean, I think you don't have to look very far in Newport News to know that luxuries aren't afforded to everyone.
It's 26
And
miles, and at least 14 of those is the food desert. So
Yeah.
Newport News
No,
has.
dude, they built the Piggly Wiggly downtown now. There's a Piggly
Oh.
Wiggly down there.
Well,
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
35th and J.
Uh-huh.
The Piggly Wiggly.
Problem
Right by
solved.
the Boo Boo Wireless or
Wireless cell phones.
Is that still there?
Yeah, Boo Wireless cell phones. Boo Wireless.
We're not making that up. We're not trying to be any kind of way.
Yeah, sorry,
It
The
exists.
icon is a dog, a bulldog.
yeah.
I went in there once just to check it out. I didn't buy nothing. I
So-
checked it out.
Boo Boo Wireless. I heard about you on the radio. It was AM radio.
All right. All right. Sorry. Well,
Anyway, back to the
Alan.
story. So Tall Mayonnaise, Tamanes comes out and is drunk, and then right as Matt's trying to, I guess, save him / get close to him, like an IL pops up and all hell breaks loose because, they attack him, and they're all going after Matt, and Matt has his spear bow staff thing and is just going to town. Like just dicing up, but he gets hit too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a lot of
say,
IL.
I won't say going to town. He Tavirened his way through. Excuse me. Oh, I burped. Killing the first one, like
Mhm.
shot to the heart.
Mhm.
But that guy was probably just ahead of everybody else in the attack. And immediately after that, Jordan writes that he was almost full defensive mode. Matt was twirling it around like with all of his best fucking bow staff skills and doing everything he could do to defend, not attack.
Right.
He was
No.
spinning around like crazy, just knocking spears away, trying to survive,
Right.
and still got diced up in the process.
Yeah.
So this was
A little bit, but he was able to. I mean, he survived,
Sure.
didn't he? Yeah.
And the whole time he's thinking, I should have run when I had the bloody chance. Tamanes could have fended for his damn self.
Can I say
Mhm.
for the normal person when shit like this happens, and I'm not saying I've been in this scenario, but I definitely I came out of a bar in forgive me, there's probably a better way of saying this, but there's communities in Germany where large groups of people move in there. They don't necessarily assimilate, they kind of take over those areas. And there's a huge Turkish population in Germany, and the blocks of streets that are like all Turkish, we call it Turktown. It's not a negative thing. It's just, you know when you cross into it. Anyways, I went to a club in a Turktown, chasing after a girl. We had a fantastic night, but she was Turkish. And when I left, I was all by myself, and I got jumped by no less than 10 Turkish dudes. And let me tell you, I was not thinking about anything else but trying to survive that. Like,
Mhm.
so when Matt I'm fending off like the Aiel, which we know are like the badass of what we know right now,
Mhm.
doing everything to survive. And like Chris said, meanwhile, he's like, man, I should have got out of here when I could. Like, how do you have the brain cells like available to focus on that?
On top of giving commands, rally you pigeon
Yeah.
gut, keep stealers.
Mhm.
Are you
He has
Yeah.
a lot more. He has a
Yeah,
lot
sure.
more thoughts. He's like, he's thinking. He has like a previous thought that like a general on the front lines is an idiot or like whatever.
Yeah.
It's not all that. I'm more impressed that he got like the wind knocked out of him and managed to keep going. Like every time
yeah.
I've ever gotten the wind knocked out of me, I'm just like, just kill me. I'd just be like, just
I'm down. End it now.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Life's over.
Hunter's on the ground, just kind of wheezing, just stabbing me.
Okay, I gotta get bigger.
It's over. Everybody's like, no, just stand up. It's
Yeah.
the water's not that deep. You're like, help. I'm
No,
drowning."
no.
Drowning,
It
drowning.
does feel that way though. Like I got laid out one time on concrete, and it was like hearing myself making the noises, struggling to find air was like, and somewhere in my mind I was like, you gotta relax. And then the guys like start crowding around me like, dude, is he all right? And all of a sudden, like, I felt the breath and the tears start running down my eyes and the anger picked up. Then it became a lot easier to breathe.
Once that adrenaline kicks in, you're like, "Ugh." But so to my point, imagine that feeling at that moment where you're like, oh shit, that's where Matt's at. And he's having how many different thought processes right now about should be somewhere else. Like you said, Hunter, but General shouldn't be there. Like, I couldn't help but think about that. Like, that's crazy. Like, is he just super
There's your point.
mind man, or like
He's like Zach Braff in Scrubs, just having like some fantasy of just like I really shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Man, like how did I get myself into this
The
situation?
general who leads the front of the battle is a fool.
Mhm.
yeah.
And the man could get killed in there. That was pure Matt Coffin. That was my favorite quote of this whole chapter and probably of the whole book. It just speaks to his personality, which is like, I'm gonna do what I need to do to help out, but if I can get away from the problem, I'm out of here.
I'm
out.
home.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
So before, like, just like with any quick battle scene or fight scene, it's pretty much over as soon as it starts. It didn't take long for it to finish. And I did, but they've definitely taken some of their.
what she said.
Yeah, it was over before it started.
Yeah.
And yeah, so after it's all over, Matt's first instinct was like, I shouldn't have been able to hear anything. Aiel are too good for that. Like, what was the sound I heard? So he goes to investigate.
Oh yeah, and he finds out that somebody had transported them there.
Mm-hmm.
Through a gateway.
Thoughts?
Well, but we know that there's a with the Shido, there is a dark one, a dark friend.
Time.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Tame.
Well,
I
Time's
thought
not
there
with-
was a
not
lot
with
of
them.
jumping to conclusions. It was very Sherlock Holmes.
That's
like,
the name of the
he-
game. Get it?
He's like
you jump
he's like the
to
cuts on this rope
conclusions.
are way too yeah. He's like you jump to conclusion. No, but he's like looking at the ropes. He's like, it's too good of a cut. It's
the
like
ropes and the bushes and all the things are just too cleanly done. Like I've only seen this one other time, and that's when Rand is.
the
I can
hedges
see
are
it, bro.
perfectly trimmed.
Yeah.
Remember.
I'm not gonna lie, I get nervous when the bush is perfectly trimmed.
Trimmed. Yeah.
I'm like,
She's there, you know.
it's a
Crow-
Tuesday.
Crow
What
was in
the
there.
fuck is this for?
Yeah. Who are you trying to impress?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I've got an appointment with the guy to college. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, the gynecologist is like, I
I
look
see
at these
so much.
all
So was it? Do you think it's a Forsaken that brought them there?
I joke about the time thing, but in the back of my mind, I can't eliminate that possibility. We're assuming he's 100% on Rand's side, but we know he can do the gateway thing. Other than that, we also know all of our Forsaken we've been talking about now. They could definitely do it. So, sure.
Yeah.
Might be a
I mean-
Samurai kind of thing.
We also
Yeah.
know that there are wise ones in the Shido who are now partnered with Aes Sedai, one of which is a dark friend.
But they don't know how to make gateways.
But the dark friend may know how to make gateway and may
Maybe.
have taught that to the Shido.
I think we're dealing with somebody high level here. This
Forsaken.
this ain't no Trolloc.
I mean, and we say the Shido don't know how to make gateway, but we don't know what they know how to
I
do.
don't know.
All
Yeah.
these
We have
wise
talked
women
about
have
that.
different. Yeah,
They withhold their capabilities like, whoa. I agree. There's more than meets the eye there.
Yeah.
At this point, I just want all the evil things that are IO related to have something to do with the Shido automatically, just because they're treacherous dogs.
And Shido sounds like Shadow, so we're supposed to not like them.
Yeah, I'm reading a book right now, a different book, and it has a magic system in it. And one of the things they talk about is how a lot of people figure stuff out, but then they keep it to themselves because they don't want to teach other people their secrets. So a lot of like things are discovered, but then taken to the grave. Because it's the same type thing. Like Shadow might have figured it out, but like you would never know because
They're not going to share.
they're not gonna share.
I just finished a book where a guy had to kill his lover twice. Not even knowing.
Double Jeopardy? Ashley Judd?
You got to that point. Yeah.
Not
It's
even
tough.
knowing what he knew about his love, or thought he should know about his love, because he
Mhm.
technically didn't kill his love the first time.
Yeah.
Ian, you got to read
I'm-
Mistborn.
Yeah,
I'm
read
past
Mistborn.
the prologue. I'm starting to understand is it Ska? Are we calling him Ska?
Yeah.
Ska. Yeah.
Ska.
Ska.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
And there's Mistborn within the Ska that have some powers. And
Okay.
I think it's neat that, well, I'm assuming we're gonna run into somebody that could do a little bit of everything, but as of right now, I'm just running into there's like specialists within, like
Yeah.
they could do certain things only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are reading some Mistborn. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like the Avatar. You know, there's some of them that are like firebenders, waterbenders, airbenders, but there's
gotta be-
Speaking of which, I
Yeah.
can't wait for the Avatar live action to come out.
Yeah, I mean, when they made the live action movie, I was really confused when they made the Avatar live action movie because I watched the cartoon growing up a little bit, and like blue aliens just didn't make sense to me. Like,
Are you
it
kidding me?
just-
They were so fucking hot.
But they
That
didn't make
was-
sense. Like
That was the
I
second time
like-
I fell in love with a animated. Is it computer animated?
CGI, yeah.
CGI?
I thought you were going to say a blue alien and like the
I'll say
Avatar.
the fifth element. You were like,
No.
Yeah.
no. My first was Ahsoka Tano. She was
Yeah.
straight up animation. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Still, gosh. Okay, sorry.
You
Yeah.
never watched Naruto. You know, Tsunade seems up your alley.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That might
Oh,
explain
yeah.
why
You would
my
like
teenage
Tsunade.
boys watch it.
Yeah,
and they're
you
like,
would.
"I'm going to bed early," and I'm like,
Oh,
"Why?"
definitely. Yeah.
You're like,
Like
"Mom,
Tsunade, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
60
just
years,
lock the door,
Chris
Dad.
knows.
Just don't
Chris
worry about
knows.
me."
65 years old and still firm.
Yeah.
So as Matt's investigating, he hears a sound behind him, whips around with a spear, almost kills in Oliver. Good old Oliver. He's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" He's like, "Well, I didn't want to stay with like a foster parent again, so I followed
Yeah.
you because
Matt tried to do right by him.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
the good old Oliver's there." So
Now, why is this kid really needed? Is this Matt's Taviran pulling on this kid?
Taviran Pool.
yeah,
Is this kid gonna like save Matt at some point by bringing him a horse?
Remember how many books we
Mm.
have? We need some young people to get involved now. To be
is
coordinator.
Oliver going to save the world?
No.
It's going to be him versus
That would be a twist.
Pater in a boxing match to see who saves the world.
Is that you, Hunter? Do you have kids? Kitty? All right, cool.
I was like, Dad
So-
duty.
Dad duty. I get it. I
I
understand.
love that he was trying to be slick about it. Apparently, he forgot that our first episode was nothing but Alan's dog
Squeaky toy.
and the
Yeah.
squeaky toy.
Mhm.
So, and we love kids better. Well, I won't say better. We love kids as well,
Yeah.
Yes.
but we also love dogs.
There's a stand that I'm gonna do a little tangent because there's a stand-up comedian I saw do a stand-up the other day, and he was talking about it's like, yeah, so last year my dad died, and like the crowd's completely hushed and like no one says anything. It's like he had a dog, and my sister went to the dog and told the dog that hey, your owner died, and the dog crawled up into his favorite chair and then passed away that night. And the whole crowd goes, "Oh," and he goes, "You know what? No one said 'aw' when I said my dad died, and I made up this dog." And everyone says, "Oh, like you guys care about the dog more than you do about my own dad."
That joke lands perfectly on this crowd because at least within our Discord, I could tell you we've got animal lovers. So yeah,
For real.
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Your dad died. Okay.
There are
Oh, but the
many,
dog. Oh.
There's many animals I connect better with than humans. So
True. Yeah.
I
100%.
feel it.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So yeah, so Oliver's there. He has come to help tend the horses of, I guess, one of the one of the
Somebody
guys
else.
there. Somebody else. Sent by Telmanis himself. Matt gets some of his wounds sewed up.
Well, we got to pay attention to the boy, though. He was a smart kid. He was like, yeah, the lady didn't want me. She just wanted the money. So I figured I'd come out here and make some money of my own.
Yeah.
Like, he's really young, too, like 8 or 6, or he's super young. So I like his tenacity. And then Matt tried to give him some gold to add to his little bundle of treasures. The boy's like, I ain't no beggar.
I don't want no fucking handout.
Yeah. I like this kid.
Is this a? So I see. This is where the shows mess us up because I feel like in the books, this is a kid Matt could relate to, but in the show, even though Matt's a little like, oh, I don't want to take your money, he takes the money of his friends. He seems like he's more in a position where like he has to take the handout because not for him, but for the responsibilities for his siblings or whatever. But in the book, Matt, I feel like would not take a free handout. Like, even though he's the trickster, even though he gets in trouble, yada yada yada. And maybe I'm like putting myself into him. I don't know. Like, what do you? Okay, no. I mean, well, you know, how come? Never mind. We're not gonna go down that route. Never mind. I stopped myself.
No, but I see what you're saying, like projecting a little bit of you into this character. But no, I completely agree with you. The Matt that is in the book has a lot more hardship to deal with. Like, though he's not an orphan, he's got two no good parents.
Yeah, sure.
As to where in the TV show, his dad, though he's a bit of a drunk and his mom's a little bit of a wild cannon, like they're still respected people.
Yeah. I feel like the Matt in the books, if somebody, well, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am projecting myself. I just feel like maybe there's some relation of, oh, hand me gold. Well, I'd rather work for it and find a way to earn it, and because then there's bragging rights with saying I earned it. I did something to earn it.
He does give Oliver a horse too, which
but for a reason.
Yeah, I know.
Again, it's not a free horse. He gives him a job. Thank you, Chris. He did not give him a horse, Alan. Get off of this podcast if you're going to poison people's minds like that. He gave him a job.
I am this podcast.
Yeah, right.
You gave him $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. That's no,
I'm getting 20.
Oh, you're 20. Oh, nice.
All that shit, no matter what
pays off that little.
I'm taking all of it.
I'm not gonna.
If I had Pell Grants if I had Pell Grants in my undergrad, even though those were paid off by the Army,
because you can't.
I don't think the Supreme Court's going to hold it up anyway. I know they're talking a lot about it. I don't think the Supreme Court's going to hold it up.
Bro,
there's already lawsuits from the loan companies trying to like. No, what they should have done is just get rid of the interest, not the actual debt itself.
Well, they did that too.
That'd be the easiest, but
that'd be
that's temporary.
It's temporary, but they're talking about actually making that a thing as well. That's actually in the plan, is to get rid of the interest rate.
Right.
On top of
have a 20% interest rate on your student loans, and like, what the fuck? Anyway,
Man, I came back at the perfect time. I'm so happy to have $10,000 off of my $300,000 worth of loans
with medical school debt.
It's great.
Wait, have you done the math? Because I feel like you might have. If you're anything like your brother, you have a spreadsheet. How many more organs do you have to move from one person to another until you're debt free?
Answer that question.
How ethically do I want to move these
Don't
organs?
answer that question.
And why do you vacation in Mexico so often? All right, Jake, post the disclaimer again. That's time.
Thing about that is Mexico. You mean the United Arab Emirates?
There you go.
All right. I was wondering why you built that 24-car garage.
Now the FBI is knocking on the door tomorrow.
Yeah, right. No, trust me, they're busy right now. They're not worried about
my favorite thing that's come from these like the memes following the $10,000 forgiveness is the like these conservative, and they're on both sides. The pundits that are just talking heads that are pieces of shit on both sides.
Oh yeah.
And but the conservative ones that are like, government handouts, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And then like the immediate response is their like COVID forgiveness loan of how much money they got. It's like I think Steven Crowder's the name of one of them. And then someone was like, is this you? And it was like $74,000 to forgive. Like, it's like,
yeah, right.
Okay.
That's not the point.
Yeah. No, that was because COVID happened. And it's like, oh, so everyone who has student loans didn't go through the same. Okay. Okay. Let's
Not
just,
the point. Not the point. Yeah.
Not the point. Yeah. Anyway, not to get political. That's how we end this chapter. So with Oliver getting a horse and with and Matt thinking like, I hope I'm not putting them in a lot of fire. And
He's good, but he reined him in the Taviran-ness. So
Mhm.
like he's a Taviran child right now. He was born of the Taviran. So he's gonna keep on
Yeah.
keeping on. He's
Yeah.
gonna dodge bullets and shit.
yeah, that's where we end it. So you guys ready to go to the next one?
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can I
Sounds
just
good.
say we have 3 chapters tonight?
Yeah.
We just finished the first chapter. I've had
Mhm.
4 White Claw surges. If I keep this
Ah.
pace up, y'all gonna see something tonight.
Hmm.
It's not gonna be that long.
I'm on my second surge. Ain't. I'm on my second surge. So yeah, there
Drinking H2O.
you go.
Oh man.
All right. And this is my last surge, and then I'll have to switch over to liquor or wine.
I got
Then we'll never end. This will
No.
go till 2 o'clock tomorrow
Yeah.
morning.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
The YouTube video is going to be 8 hours long. It's all everyone just like.
just passed out.
We're gonna take a
forgot to
Chris
hit
nap.
end because we all fell asleep.
we're all gonna take a little nappy nap at the end.
Because Jake's already admitted that he's fucking hammered drunk. So
Yeah. So
it's
the
amazing.
stream
to keep
goes
seeing
on.
these gifts.
it's gonna be an 8-hour stream of us all sleeping by the end, guys.
We're gonna
So
make
stick
very
around.
profound statements, and Jake is gonna drop the giggity. We're gonna be like, "What? What does that even have to do with anything?"
So moving to chapter 23 to
Understand.
understand a message. And we're with Grendel's point of view. So we're Forsaken. We're at
This
Samuel's.
is fun.
Now,
Yeah,
were
we're-
they in Talon Riyadh?
I think they're at Samuel's palace. They're in
Sam-
Ilion.
Then
Well,
why
yeah,
was
they're-
their dress
hold
changing color?
Grendel even talks about how it seems like they're in his palace place in, would you say Ilion? But even
Mhm.
she's not totally convinced it is it. It might be a facade of it.
Okay.
And this
At least
is.
I think that's the way I read it.
I'll give the tiniest of like. I don't think this is ever explained.
Spoil me, baby.
But I think Grendel's the type of woman, lady, whatever, that would definitely use like the Mask of Mirrors or like a weave
Yeah.
to pump up her boobs and look all like So I
Mhm.
think that's what the color changing cloak and like her losing some of like the
Okay, because I
Like,
was super confused. Like, why is her gown changing colors? Unless
Yeah.
they're in the dream and she doesn't have much control because she didn't care to practice that, which would surprise the heck out of me. But you know,
Or they're in the real
not
world and she has
perfect.
more control than you think.
Yeah. Using the one power to other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but she makes the comment later that she hadn't been embracing Sidar.
Okay.
And then if she did, he would notice and then he would be upset.
Yeah.
So either like this cloth is like in
like a mood ring,
Mood
like
dress.
yeah, like imbued with power and changes with her mood, or
Why are you
they're in
surprised by
some
the mood dress?
other, but it could not, it may not be the dream realm, it may be like a special realm for them.
What did they call light bulbs in this chapter? I swear to God, it was just light bulbs. Glow
I don't
bulbs
remember.
or something.
Yeah, glow bulb. I don't know, something. I
yeah.
can't remember. I don't have a book.
It must have been like British.
I can't
people,
flip it fast
like,
enough to.
the
Yeah, it was a
wobbly
glow
gobblies.
bulb.
A little
Glow
scrubbed
bulb
up on your cheese
bright and
nubs, eh?
steady,
Yeah.
stood oddly in heavy golden kettle holders, giving
Yeah.
much better illumination than candles or oil lamps ever could.
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't even catch
So-
that.
That's what he found in the stasis box was some sweet light bulbs. And
The
he's like,
fact that they brought up a stasis box, it was like,
Yeah. So before we get there, we talk about the gaudy, or not the gaudy, but just the decor and Ilion's completely from the Age of Legends at this point, the glow bulbs and everything like that. And
yeah.
Grendel comments on that, say, like, or at least thinks about it, saying like, "Wow, this is a little forward." But that's Samuel,
Trying to prove a point.
yeah. And
There's
yes, so they
apparently an important book called The Tempo of Infinity.
the
think-
original,
That's going to come back at some point and have some importance, maybe.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, and they have a stasis box.
y'all watch the show, right?
They have it.
Yes, we
Yes,
did watch
yes.
the show.
Okay. So you know how like the show, The Age of Legends, it was like space cars and things like that.
Yeah.
It was the Jetsons.
What? So do you think this place, if they're doing the show, is going to be like technoed out and like he's got an original copy? It's like a techno song like playing in the background. It's like, damn, he found the original like Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah,
Like,
which is the song. That's the Tinkers are looking for is Sandstorm. But
You know what made me give up on really trying to predicting what the show's gonna do is when Rafe made the comment of just consider this show kind of like another turning of the wheel. It's not gonna be the exact same, it'll be different. So I'm like, okay, if we're supposed to go with that vibe, like literally anything could happen.
I don't know. The Sean channelers wear ball gags. It's weird. It's a weird turning of the wheel.
You say weird, I say yes. To each their own, my friend.
Safe objects.
Not just a collar, but
yeah. So found a stasis box. And they're talking about the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Global.
it could be a full-grown Jumara in there. You don't know.
Yeah. They talk about that.
No, it's the adolescent wormies.
Mm-hmm.
So they're never gonna get to mature form.
Yeah.
Which,
Neither am I.
The beautiful butterflies that you must have
Which
been
are horrifying. If you've ever seen the World of the Wheel of Time, it's extra book or whatever that they explain some of these things on.
I haven't.
What they could be.
I just assumed it was a butterfly.
Yeah, there's actually
But a big butterfly.
Let me see. I think it's in this thing.
What if they mature to like a million gnats, and that's why they're so horrifying? Because they go in your nose, they go in your eyes. You're like, these fuckers. They don't care about bug spray.
No, they don't.
Exactly.
Balefire, all of Canada, the waste. Just
You have to. That's a hell of a finger blast.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So the Tempo of Infinity was an artwork and not a book. So one might think you looted a museum, Samuel. He's like, nope, only a stasis box. I suppose people tried to say what they could in the last days. So I like how he's tying in a little bit of future to a whole lot of what originally I assumed was like the past. Like they hadn't moved forward enough to have electricity, hadn't moved forward enough to have cars, but essentially it was a gigantic regression as the world had been changed and shifted into what it had become. So I'm wondering how much of the old world is going to be used along with the magic during this current turn.
Yeah. Like, when are we going to start building roads like Rome? Because their roads are still fucking there. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No.
yeah, I don't know. I think
and the aqueduct systems too.
I think the world was broken like a bit too much. So I mean, the way that I always read it, and this is going in the past, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything in the future, is like
there is no time, Hunter. Just hit us with the final book.
Time's a flat circle. Is that like the breaking was so bad? If you imagine, like, let's say the four of us survived a breaking, and like they blew up all the power plants, and like and the infrastructure was kind of there. I don't think the four of us could figure out how to like get electricity working again. We'd be like, shit, like batteries work.
Mad at many skills.
Yeah, batteries work because you just plug them in and then you press on. I don't know what we're doing here.
That conversation would go nowhere because there's a person like me that would say, fuck electricity. The Indians had it right. Let's just live in teepees, make love to our wives, and hunt during the day. Or fish. Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go be an Aiel.
There you go.
Yeah.
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 All right, Alan, are you back? Do you know where we are?
Yeah.
We're on page 2 of chapter 23.
We're on page 2. So we're talking about Agonor's creatures. So this is where you learn that Agonor created a lot of the creatures.
Does Hunter need earbuds? Are we echoing somewhere?
Have these earbuds.
Right.
There's
So-
there's a little echo. It might be from me. I don't know.
I thought I
Now-
heard the slightest something.
Was this him experimenting as a scientist and creating things, or was this him using powers that he received as a dark friend?
Wait, are we still on
Creating.
Samuel?
Agonor.
No, we're
They talked
talking
about
about
Agonor
Agonor.
creating. Yeah,
Oh,
he created the Jamara. He created the Trollocs. He created. Yeah, he's the one who created a lot of shadows.
Because I mean, we like it in my mind. It's like this could have been done with just like modern technology, like splicing and stuff like that, genetic alterations, and then we had the breaking of the world.
I don't think we're that good yet, Chris.
he's thinking. I saw his eyes moving. He was thinking.
No, but I'm saying like I
I don't
they
think we
were-
could make. I don't think we could make Trollocs.
they may have been that good. I mean, we
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
where they're at. I mean, the source of the power could have been a huge nuclear explosion or something totally different, some type of fission of some sort that ended in, radiation poisoning and people getting powers.
It is our world,
And
because we're living in the first age.
I know I'm skipping around a little bit, but there's a couple shadow spawn that are mentioned. We got mentioned worms, which we've seen from Either World. They're the things that chase them. The worms
Jamar.
that are the adolescent, are the
Yeah.
young
The babies.
form of Jamara. Which
And
is
then
supposed to be-
Also, Grendel's really afraid of the shit that Lanfear introduces to the little froggy things with multiple eyes.
Grom.
Yeah.
No, Gollum. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Have we met a golem?
No, but they mention it in this chapter.
no! So that's why. Okay, so I was thinking that was the froggy thing.
No, that's different.
Oh,
I was going to ask what do you think
no.
golems are.
Stone creatures that
Yeah, golems are made of earth and clay, and they're given a
Something
very
like that.
they're given
Yeah.
a very basic intelligence with like a very narrow focus of like you can create them individually, and their sole purpose of existence is to kill a certain purpose.
like a
person
gray
or-
man.
Oh yeah,
That was where I went when I heard it.
That-
Maybe rip them apart to pieces.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Chris, I didn't even think that, but that fits the generic
Definition.
when we
of
talk
a
about
golem.
Golem. Yeah,
Yeah, but do you think that Grendel would be scared of a gray man?
if it was her gray man, no. If it was somebody else's, yes.
Hmm.
Maybe not scared, but
She's definitely scared. She says she literally almost died, due to something that Agonor made. Because that dude,
maybe
that
Agonor
dude-
had Taco Bell.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
We've all been there.
Also, Samuel during this whole scene claims he found a cache of Angriel and made a truce with Rand. And
No,
Grendel's
he
like
says he has a
bullshit.
cache coming to him,
coming to yes,
which we
And
know
then
he
he made-
does.
right. But then also that he made a truce with Rand, which Grendel's like bullshit.
Yeah, no, that I was like, this is him playing her. Let's see how well he does, because she's supposed
Yes.
to be like the mistress of the webs. Like, I get to play everybody. All you puppets dance around me. So, like, if I have to pick a favorite character out of these 3 chapters, it would be him for this act
Yeah.
that he put on.
So, have you ever known people that will put out their absolute best of everything they have, but then when you're there, they're constantly apologizing that they didn't have time and I'm so sorry that I only have my worst out. Like, I feel like that's what he's doing here, even with the hints of what he got in the stasis box. I feel like he's showing her everything he has. He's laying all
yeah.
his cards down, but he's bluffing her by going, oh, but there's so much more. This is just what I had time to show you. This is, I have access to more than this.
Hmm.
So I think he's
Yeah.
bluffing bullshitting.
Yeah, and she's worried that he's actually been already named Nameless and doesn't like. She has that moment where she kind of fears that. And eventually Samuel asks like where the rest of the Forsaken are, and Grendel kind of gives a report, says well Lanfear and Asmodean are dead, and Messina's in the tower, and he's like, okay, where's everybody else? He's like, I don't know. He's like, well, you need to go find them. right now. Like, and if they are dead, I need to see their corpses.
Yeah.
And because this is from her perspective, like the vibe is that she's going to act on his, I won't say request, command, right? Like this
Mhm.
just seems weird.
Yeah.
I would
Now,
think
do we
she
really
would-
think Lanfear's dead? I'm kind of putting her in the same camp as
Moraine.
Moraine.
Yeah, I don't think they're dead.
Yeah.
I don't think Asmodean's dead either.
I'm iffy on him. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Oh, sorry. Not Asmodean. What were the first two we killed in Eye of the World?
Bilal
And
and
Agenor.
Yeah, I don't
Agenor.
think they're dead. I think they're coming back.
Well, no, they already came back
yeah,
well,
the
the prologue.
Osengar and
Right.
in the
Yeah.
prologue. They were brought back to life by the
Is that a spoil? I
In a
think that
new
was
body.
I think that was hinted, but not.
No.
No, if Flat said it. If Flat said it.
Okay, yeah. So they're definitely right back in the mix. Yeah.
Just in different bodies,
Yeah, just different bodies.
which makes
'Cause
me wonder whether or not Asmodean will be brought back in a different body.
Agenor's a girl now. Isn't that what
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
As Osengar and what's the other one?
Arengar and Osengar,
Arengar and Osengar. Yeah, it's
which means something in Old Tongue. I don't know.
yeah. I can't remember what it means, but yeah.
But I mean that right there just shows you it's kind of the same thing that happens with the Brigitte and everybody else. They kind of like come back into another
Well,
body.
there's only one way to truly get rid of someone.
You got to finger blast them.
blast. Yeah. Even that can't be brought back. But yeah, the Dark One is the Lord of the Grave. He can bring people back from the dead if they're worthy. And yeah, that's it from Grendel's point of view, I think. Anything else from her? I mean, they talk about Shadow Spawn, they talk about Forsaken that are missing. What do you think about Messina being in the tower?
Masana.
Masana, sorry, Masana, not Messina.
Sauna, jacuzzi in the back.
Gotta go with movies. I mean, we already kind of knew this, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
we assumed that there's a dark friend kind of manipulating things.
Someone had to be pulling the strings of the Black Asha,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that's who doing
Yeah.
it.
Okay, cool.
But who is Rosanna like taking the place of?
In the spirit of like communication, do you feel like the Forsaken, like the Dark One, if you just pick people that would work together, they could have totally like easily destroyed the
He'd
whole
been
world.
free and they would have ruled the world for
It
sure.
was-
Mm.
It's like he must be sitting in the prison, just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Like,
But he's all about chaos, so this kind of falls right in line with that need, just everything being completely chaotic.
just pick the most toxic people in,
So-
in the universe.
Chaotic is almost it seems like the best strategy when you have people who can see the future, make predictions. You have people that can see in somebody's aura like what they're destined to do, whatever. And if there's the possibility that they can communicate well enough with people that have the power to stop it or change it, and you're trying to defeat that, then you have to be chaotic. And you have to, like the Dark Friend socials, like give individual missions and make sure other people don't know about it. It has to be wonky for it to work.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. And then after this, we switch to Samuel's point of view. Just
He's
for
like, my face freaking hurts from this fake smile. I'm so
Yep.
glad I can get rid of it.
yeah, and he thinks about how he manipulated it, how well he manipulated her, and
Bingo.
he's determined to be
Bullshit.
the last one standing. So I mean, the whole thing with the Forsaken all competing against each other, like they're just trying to off each other too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I hope Lanfear comes back, because I think she had a great approach early on of recognizing it, trying to bring a couple people in, and like remember she was talking to the others and was like, okay, clearly we're all going to start. It was like Survivor, like the TV show. It's like
Mhm.
clearly at the end there's only going to be one, but for now let's whittle it down to just our group, and we'll work together for a little while. Let Rand take out, a couple of the others, no big deal. Like she had good strategy.
Mhm.
If she was on Survivor, she would have lasted longer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ian, about your loss of your fiance.
Yeah,
I,
thank you. I'm glad somebody recognized it. All I got was a yeah from Alan, but
If
I
not for
know.
anything else, for ratings, I mean,
Yeah.
usually the hot one goes further in Survivor just because it helps the ratings.
Yeah.
you
The
you get
producers
my,
really blew it.
you get my
on the
wife's
show.
name out of your mouth, Alan.
Wife now. Wow.
Yeah,
We got to come over there and smack me like Chris Rock or
I will.
Will
I
Smith.
will.
Well, my wife comes up in the next chapter, so I'm excited
Hey.
about
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it Sorelia?
Giggity.
Sun-dried raisin.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That's the only downside of living in Tampa. But you know what?
There's plenty of sun-dried raisins. Yeah.
So are we anything else from this chapter? It's a short one, but there's a lot of little nuggets that happen here. There's a lot of stuff.
I guess I was just giddy about getting a Forsaken perspective. And then I was like, oh shit, we're gonna start getting their perspectives so we can get in their head. I mean, we've been guessing about the way they think for so long, and now we have the chance to get into it.
Yeah.
Samuel really thinks that he's nameless. Like, what do y'all
does.
think about that?
I don't think he thinks that.
No, he doesn't think that. He thinks he's
It's a
going
bluff.
to be if he can hold out. There's a difference. He
I don't
thinks
even think the truce conversation. I paused for a moment. I was like, wait, what if the way Samuel sent this messenger was able to read Rand's subconscious, and because of the way he died and how things unfolded, that even though Rand was like, screw you, and it wasn't just Rand, it was Rand and Luz calling him out for all the shit he did, and I'm gonna come get you. What if like there's some secret way that Samuel knew what he meant subconsciously of like, wink, wink, yeah, okay, truce, but I can't say truce. And then I was like, no, that's absurd. That's absurd. There's no way.
Yeah.
So Samuel
his,
has to be full of shit.
His nameless strategy is just like, well, if I'm the only one left, then I have to be nameless. Like, I'm gonna survive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I guess part of me also thinks he's not that stupid.
well,
Because
but
you still have to be worthy of it.
But
If you're a total shitbox and you're the only one left, and the great Lord of the Dark is like, where's my second?
Who needs to be
And-
freed?
And Pater's over there picking his nose, and Pater's like, I'm the only one left. Do you think Great Lord of the Dark's could go, Pater, you are nameless? I mean, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait,
He needs to be freed.
his
He
prediction:
needs those hands,
Pater's
like-
nameless.
Pater is the dark one himself. All right.
Oh, yeah,
Pater-
he's
Pater's-
well beyond nameless.
Team
If you're-
Pater.
You could be channeling Jordan right now and making it a joke, but actually you just spoiled us for book 13.
You
Yeah.
think this isn't a book 14 spoiler?
Could be a 14.
No,
Oh,
this,
shit.
This is the final pages spoiler. Pater wins everything.
Yeah, and as the battlefield, he looks upon the battlefield and sees the destruction.
Woodaholic Ozzy calls you a Pater hater.
Pater haters. Yeah. So anything else from this chapter before we move on?
No, we pulled a lot
Pee
out.
break, and I got to
Yeah,
refill my
I
drinks.
got a refill too.
Gotta
We're
keep
going to
this
take a
buzz
first
going.
intermission that we've taken in a while, so I'm actually going to try to share my screen and do like a little quick intermission. So we'll try this. If it works, it works.
Out for now.
Be right back. Share screen. Let's do tab. Boom. Share. Play. All right, we're kind of back. I guess 10 minutes wasn't long enough for everybody.
Well, I'm here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this much: we found a really cool farmers market, like on the other side of town.
Uh-huh.
But they have the best fresh fruit, and I've been doing pretty much carnivore the last like 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's been great for my body. But then I found this fruit and I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'm only eating berries, so
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Let me get to my notes. Cool. All right, we're all back. And Peter is obviously Naples material.
Can I steal 20 seconds?
Sure. Take more if you want.
I haven't spent enough time talking about Meredith, and I should apologize for that. Like,
You should.
it's just been so fantastic.
did you listen to the last show?
Yeah, I have not.
Don't worry, I
but
got you covered.
But anyways, I will just say she is so amazing in so many ways. Like, I love that my children get to see us together for so many reasons. I love that my children enjoy spending time with her and her with them. And I think about that often. And when we went on break, I went downstairs and all of that just got thrown out the window because she's watching The Bachelorette with them and they are enjoying it. In fact, they're pausing it all throughout it to like just talk smack about everything that's going on. And I don't know how I feel about that, but so Alan, you've met River. You've met River, and River's getting so emotionally invested. He's watched 2 episodes and he's like, why would he say that to her? Da, 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 da. How are they kissing on the second date? It blows my mind.
Red flags.
He's no good for her. He's no good for her.
Red flags.
She's got him.
River,
I thought
it's
worse.
scripted.
Grey's Anatomy, but come on, Bachelorette? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I got to rethink everything now.
Rethink your life, man. All right. You guys ready for chapter? What chapter are we on? 20, is it 24? 24? 24. 24. Sounds good. Sounds like a good number. An embassy. Yeah. So
It's embassy.
Embassy. We're in Kyrian. It's Egwene's point of view. Let's dig right in. So
so much sometimes.
yeah. Well, Egwene's one of the main characters. You gotta love, hate Egwene. It's a love hate.
She's been here.
Yep.
Still here.
So Egwene's wandering through Kyrian in a good mood. She's amused by how people take her as an Aiel woman.
Wait, are we talking about Egwene or Princess Jasmine? Was
a
I the only
whole
one?
new world. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, despite her height and her eyes, I mean, I guess at this point she's really tan. 'Cause she's been in the waste, but yeah, they all assume she's just like one of the Aiel.
And moist because of all the steam baths.
Moist. Moist. Using that word that some people hate, like undulate.
Hip undulation. That's how you swim
Undulate.
butterfly.
I told you about Daniel Green and the undulating thing with Murphy. Yeah, that was
I
fantastic.
can't wait for my opportunity.
Yeah, I've actually looked into Cameo to see if we could hire someone to do something for our podcast. It's actually not that expensive. It's pretty reasonable price.
Spend the money, Alan. All right, guys.
spend the money.
No giveaways for the next month. We are going to do an undulation video for someone who hates it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Gary Busey to just talk about the Wolverines for like 20 minutes. So you go to cameo.com, you can get celebrity to talk about whatever you want. You just pay them. They're sluts for money. That's what pretty much celebrities are.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I wish I could add my own gifts to Gary Busey, like your worst nightmare, shithorn. Like,
but yeah, I know there's a lot of people on Cameo, so I don't know. I've thought about it. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, she's wandered around the palace. or at least around Kyrian, looking like an Aya woman, and she's pleased that the wise ones have finally agreed that she could walk inside the city and exercise. The wise ones are letting her out.
And she's soon to return to her training, which is even more exciting for her.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like
they're gonna go back-
it's like she's been locked in a basement for 6 years, and they're like, "You can come in the living room," and she goes, "Yay, I'm in the living room." Meanwhile, this was the girl that when the Sean Chan like locked her up, she was losing her effing mind.
Yeah.
So why is she enjoying this taste of freedom from the wise ones?
So they have a term for this. It's called Stockholm syndrome.
Little bit. So no joke. I think there's a little bit that's going on, and it might be some of the wow factor, like because the wise ones are they're still mysterious to us as the reader, and
Mhm.
I would think to Egwene as well. Like she thinks she knows what they could teach her, and there's probably more to it. Anyways, I just thought that was funny. For a while, we were chanting. I mean, Chris, you remember we're like, "Oh, Egwene could take that shit because she learned her lesson when she was locked up with the Seanchan, and now she's just going with the flow. Thank you for my tiny bit of freedom."
Well, she did it for the obvious, though. So we realize that she's definitely like your average teacher pet.
Yeah, I guess
because
choice matters.
She fell right in line with the Aes Sedai. Now she's falling right in line with the wise ones, doing exactly what she's told. And not only that, she's one of those chameleon type people.
This is the way.
She takes the shape and form of the influences around her, because as she enters the city, she was immediately overwhelmed by the people and by the sounds and by the smells. And she, as if she had never been in the city before.
Right.
And then, she started to see people as an Aiel would see them, thinking about
even perspective change.
Yeah, you have these different shifts where you have like the 4 men looking to jump the 1 man, and she's like, "Oh, do you people have no honor?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, who is this chick? She's like, in their mind, okay, she's Aes Sedai, and for her, she's thinking Jieto. So yes,
all the
time. Gross.
That's perfect.
You have toe.
So with that particular thought in mind, she definitely has taken on all aspects of their culture as best she could.
That she knows of. Yeah.
That she knows
of what she can grasp, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a distinct difference between like the Seanchan and like the Aes Sedai, or the wise ones. That she's getting treated like shit. But I think if she actually was like, "I'm done with you guys," they'd be like, "All right, then leave." Like that's fine. But she's getting something out of it.
Fair enough. That's true. I feel that.
I don't think the Seanchan would ever be like, "All right, then leave."
So if Seanchan had a little quid pro quo,
mm-hmm.
she'd have been all right with it.
Yeah.
But instead of like, naming you something and being like, "You're my little pet," yeah, that's a little bit much.
But what if that is your quid pro quo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as she's wandering around, she's overhearing like people talk and some rumors that the Aes Sedai are at war with each other. And Egwene thinks about Aes Sedai and starts looking at Aes Sedai. She's been looking at Aes Sedai differently from a wise woman's lens. And wondering, who might be an Aes Sedai spy. I mean, she's definitely thinking about Aes Sedai its entire process of walking through the city. What's your thoughts on all this? On Aes Sedai and all the rumors and Egwene's take on it?
The whole taken. So Elaine and Nynaeve have had to go from their wondrous adventure where they're pretending to be Aes Sedai to being much less than Aes Sedai. Egwene hasn't had to experience that yet.
No.
And if she does, that's going to be a hard pill for her to swallow. she's getting deeper and deeper into the illusion of not only am I acting as Aes Sedai, but she might even transition. She might even go through some sort of rites of passage where she becomes a wise one. Then
Mhm.
what? I mean, in a way, I'm happy for her that she kind of has that freedom to do that. But
She has choices.
you know what, Alan? You know what?
What did we know?
Hunter, I'm
Well,
going to
what?
curse your brother out. So just
It's fine.
hold on.
He's always been a dark friend. Don't worry.
Alan, you are a nincompoop.
Ooh,
Ooh.
cotton-headed,
Mm.
cotton-headed cotton-headed ninny muggins. Is that what he said?
Cotton-headed nitty muggin, all of that stuff.
All right. Sure.
Yeah. Well, you didn't spill
Well-
yogurt on your beard, Alan. It's going gray. So take that. Yeah. Shit just got real. Carry on.
Anyway, so so she's continuing to listen to more rumors.
It's
Yeah.
bringing to light some of these ideas that she needs to pay a little bit closer attention. She needs to get back into the dream world, and she wished that the Aes Sedai actually gossiped. Like they might talk about a man, but they don't really talk about what's actually important and what's actually going on. You know, for her, just the chatter about a man isn't worth it. But in hearing all of the things, she's really starting to kind of formulate some opinions and thinking, you know, this is why I need to get back. This is what I need to figure out. This is why I need to go, you know, scouting at the White Tower via the dream. I need to be more involved and more active. And I need to make sure that others know about what's going on.
Right. And that's what she thinks about a lot of these rumors is like she's already known a lot of what's going on because of her scout at the White Tower and because of Elaita's desk. She's gotten a lot of insight already. So she hears these things and like, I know what's really going on. So, nah. I mean, she
But
does bring that up,
know? But
but she thinks she knows.
there it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
She knows what she knows, but unfortunately, she doesn't know what she doesn't know.
Agreed.
And that's the trouble.
By the way, I need to cut in real quick. I forgot to mention my sister had her twins.
Ooh,
Congrats.
congrats. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Both of them were 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and they were about 5 weeks early. So that's really,
Okay.
really good size and really healthy.
For being
Mhm.
twins and that early, that's pretty solid.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they were ready to come out. They, I mean, full head of hair, all the good stuff. So
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Healthy is always
Yeah,
good.
35 weeks for twins. That's fully cooked.
Yeah.
that-
That's a medical term for you.
The oven.
Yeah,
The
don't,
oven.
don't burn the bread. Come on, pull it out. It's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Not gonna bring up anyway. So yeah, and as Egwene goes around, he actually hears other people talking about Rand, saying that Rand's a Forsaken, and that's when she actually steps in. She's like, "No, let me tell you about G-A-Toe."
Ah.
And pretty much that's what she does. She gives him the middle finger, saying that like, "You guys are horrible."
Can we take a moment to try and figure out Giotto a little bit more?
Sure, go for it.
Using that little GIF. So those of y'all that are listening and not watching, it is a foot in a flip flop with the toes curled up, and then the middle finger of the foot sticks out and flicks us off. Right.
Nice.
But Giotto, is that foot flicking somebody else off, or are they flicking themselves off?
Mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Hmm. Deep.
Hmm.
Can we get a Charlie gif?
I think we need a Charlie gift for that.
Sure. Oh wait, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
We know whose toe it was, but who was it pointed at?
Yeah. Pepe Sylvia. All these letters are to Pepe Sylvia.
As me and Jake fight to actually click on gifts, because we both had the power. But yeah,
I I'll say, unless you got something deep here, Chris, I was less enthralled with.
I'm scrolling Facebook right now on this chapter.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, so
it's-
not
it's
just me.
chapters.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
there's not.
I mean, what does it really come down to? She sees the people who are, they've been waiting for 2 months. She sees these Aes Sedai rolling through, and she realizes like I can't be seen for multiple reasons. First and foremost,
Sure.
I know they're looking for me still,
Mm-hmm.
and second, I have been pretending to be an Aes Sedai, and all of the people around me think I'm an Aes Sedai. They think I'm a green.
Mm-hmm.
And if it just so happens that it's mentioned that there's a green here for them to talk to who has been helping Rand, I'm screwed because they're
How do
going
you
to
think that
drag
the
me
wise
back.
ones would, react to?
They would scoop her up in a heartbeat.
Oh,
yeah.
no, yeah. How do you
She's
think they?
disenfranchised there. The wise ones already recognize her talent, her potential, her influence, her.
No,
Yeah.
They would scoop her up real
but
quick.
she's been lying to them.
Oh,
Would
they
she-
would make her run until her feet bleed. She'd have toe.
Oh, she'd have a lot of toe.
She'd have a lot of toe.
Okay, there's
A
the
whole
toe
lot.
gap.
So.
Okay,
that-
but would they
All
be
the
mad
toe.
about it?
Yes.
No, they would seize the opportunity.
No. But the Aiel don't think that way.
Yeah.
Wise ones don't equal the
They-
way all the
They
Aiel
would punish her first.
So
Sure.
if the wise ones ever find
It'd
out,
be quietly. No one else would know.
They
but
would-
the wise ones
they
would
would
punish her.
they would punish her and use her at the same time. They would not let her go. They would not
Exactly.
No.
they would not say F you, get out of here.
You
I
remember
guess.
that 3 years we were talking about for you to actually learn how to be a wise one? Make it 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because you
pigtails.
got to think she's
the
a
entire
channeler,
time.
so she's gonna live hundreds of years.
And she's like, and that we're gonna marry you off to a real good Aiel.
She
Cool.
do be channeling though.
Yeah.
So,
See,
She's
maybe
got it.
because the wise ones are from the outside looking in as far as the White Tower. Like, it's not like the wise ones are like, oh well, you didn't stroke the rod or whatever it is that they do to become Aes Sedai, so therefore you're not. Like, it's just a word to them. It's just a status. But if the status equals a certain ability to channel, a certain influence, it, like, from their perspective, she has the influence, she has the connections, she has the ability to channel. And if all the other people are like, well, that's not good enough, did the wise ones care?
I think the wise ones the wise ones have all been to Ridion, so they know their previous relationship with the Aes Sedai.
yeah, they know they
Well,
serve the Aes Sedai.
Okay.
You know,
That's
so
a fair point.
I think
That's a
they
fair
have an interesting relationship with Aes Sedai. I think they
Yeah.
think of them as a, and I think that's been well. I don't think I'm spoiling anything.
No, you're not. No,
No,
that's
been
true.
well
established at this
That's
point.
true.
So I
Yeah.
mean, in working on that same vein, so she rushes as soon as she can to get to the wise ones, and of course the queen, or the what do you call her, the regent, the one that was put in charge, is just
Verlaine?
chilling in there.
Oh,
Verlaine.
my wife.
Yeah.
Your wife
Hey,
is-
oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just like chilling in there, like having some tea, and they're chatting and shooting the shit. And what I want to know at this point, what is up and how does she have this relationship with them? Is it
How
like
does
women?
she?
Is power seeing power? Is this what this is all about? Or
Or are you only the story's only being told from point of views?
yes.
Are you not
Yeah.
seeing the reality behind my wife?
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
but before we get
the
to
Aes Sedai.
before we get to the whole Bear Lane thing, the reason why Egwene ran back is because when she saw the embassy coming in, she saw the Aes Sedai coming in. She didn't know whether they were from the tower or from the other group
Well,
that
she
was,
saw red with them,
and then she saw a red,
yeah.
Mhm.
so knew right away that was tower. 'Cause-
Also, how stupid. I mean, and she says this. How stupid of an idea to send a red to see.
no,
I mean,
a red,
Way
yeah.
showing strength
Can
Yeah.
we? All right.
and solidarity.
So as far as we're in the books, and we know that there's humanity in every category. Like we try to love somebody and we find out they're not perfectly lovable. We try to hate somebody and they're not perfectly hateable. It's been very easy to do nothing but shit on the Reds so far. So all I'm asking is let's be open that there's a chance that there is a Red or some Reds that actually aren't horrible.
Sure.
I think if you lived in the world that they live in, like male channelers like took a perfect society and just nuked it. And the Reds are like, yeah, we're trying to stop the nuking from happening ever again. I think the Reds are completely justified in the world they live in.
So you're saying the middle ground is not always the answer?
If everything and millions of like the majority of the population got genocided, and you're like, maybe we should
Not do that?
yeah, and have a society that takes care of the people that are gonna continue to murder thousands of people if we let them go crazy. I think a lot of people see the Reds as like, because the majority of Aes Sedai,
Justifiable.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's justifiable.
or the
Got you.
plurality of Aes Sedai Reds, they're the biggest Aja.
But we didn't start this book. We didn't start this series from the perspective of like Red Aes Sedai trying to save the world. From
Yeah, we
that.
started the series as some bumfucks in a little village off of
Yeah.
nowhere. Like,
And we're stuck loving them.
yeah,
That's our problem.
maybe they're the bad ones.
If I'd have started with book 2, okay.
We started with time traveling Tam as he's
Yeah.
going back in time
Yeah.
to save
Why
the
do you have
world.
to start with
We
the
haven't
dude?
seen Tam in a while.
Why couldn't we start with Moraine?
We haven't seen
We
Tam in a
haven't
while.
seen in a while. We still haven't seen Perrin.
Yeah.
When's the next time we see Tam? Can you
No,
pull up the
Perrin.
spreadsheet?
You
I don't
pronounced
know.
Perrin wrong. I love Tam, but where's Perrin?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna talk about Perrin. I love Perrin, but I'm hope I'm never involved in a Perrin chapter. I will say I 100% love Perrin. That's all I'll say.
Please, Alan, bring him back for a really good Perrin chapter.
Oh well.
I love Perrin to death. The surrounding characters. To
Hey,
Perrin.
Perrin's in the last chapter of this book, so
That's it?
I mean, there's more. But yeah. Anyway, so let's go on to
Perrin is in the last chapter of this book. Absolutely.
yes.
Oh, I like that you said that. Bring him back for the last chapter of the book.
So at this point, Egwene runs back to the Wise Ones.
Oh, she would.
And that's where Berelain's in there drinking tea with Amis and Bear and Soralia. And says, "Hey, I said I are here." And Berelain's to get up and go back to the palace to greet them, and basically Egwene's trying to hide.
Yeah, Berlin's like, okay, they're here. I'll go do what needs to be done. I'll go do it. And then Egwene tries giving her that like, but make sure they're not going to hurt. And she's like, no, I was going to go there and be like, fucking hurt Rand. What do you mean?
Thanks for telling me how to do the obvious.
Yeah.
Come on. And Berelain, let's be honest, she's been playing this game for quite some time, and she's obviously very good at it because she's not that old. And she's still running shit as a woman. I think, go back, somebody mentioned earlier, I think that's why there's this connection between her and the Wise Ones. The Wise Ones, the more we learn about the Aiel, they connect all of the Aiel, and they're truly, I wouldn't even say secretly, but they're certainly running everything, aware of everything in the Aiel world from kind of behind the scenes, at least from a partnership. But Berelain, somebody like her, is just like, I'm running shit and I have no balls, and I'm glad I don't, and I'm doing it ballless, and I'm also running shit, and also, dude with balls, put me in charge of more shit because I'm that awesome. And so I feel like
Berlin runs a
there's
country
love there.
like the size of like Liechtenstein or something, and now she's in charge of like a whole continent. She's
The most badass dude that all of these people have ever conceived of came in and was like, I can't stay here. I need somebody to run it. You're my first choice.
yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like,
And she's like the leader of like Monaco, like a little tiny
Yeah.
but
And
with
then
no balls. That's why I think the wise ones are like, I could be down with that.
and then puts him in charge of France.
Mhm.
Can we do Spain?
Well, Kyrian's always compared to France, like the nobility and the.
For this metaphor, though, I don't think that did Berlin
Yeah.
justice.
Okay. We can do Spain. We can do Spain.
Right.
What are you talking about?
The French are going to
Historical-
listen to this episode.
So people
and be
always give
so
French.
offended.
I'm gonna give French some justice. So
Yeah, we had
French
Charlemagne.
always give a bad rap because of World War II. But the fact that historically French, Napoleon and Charlemagne, and historically French were badass. Like they were some of the
true.
most badass warriors.
Geographically in a pretty solid spot, too.
Yeah.
They're
And
right in the mix.
They gave a pretty good campaign against Julius Caesar when they were the Gauls. And Julius Caesar eventually conquered them, but definitely fought back pretty
And
hard.
let's double down on our fare when it comes to World War II. It might have been a governmental, but the underground there was pretty legit.
Yeah.
We got to give them some street cred.
Yeah, we crap on France a lot, but the French historically are pretty badass when it comes to militarily. I mean, Napoleon can be argued to be one of the greatest commanders that ever lived, militarily. But
And now half the creatures in the Blight speak French, and it's
Yeah, that's that ought to tell you something.
I still love the French language. It's my favorite. So if you say, what is it? The glass worm goes towards the
sure.
the green worm goes
green
toward
glass worm.
goes towards the green glass. It's the vez or la vez. That's how you say it in French. It's
All
great.
I know is in the last 5 minutes, Chris has liked or hearted 17 of my Facebook posts.
Oh,
And
nice.
and I don't post that often, so he's going back months. So
So let's move on. So after this whole interchange with Barrelane, the wise ones then start to test Egwene, basically to make sure she's truly healthy. They determine she is and say, yeah, go to the sweat tent. You have been graduated to now hang out with us again. And yeah.
yes,
But
Master,
leaving
how's it go to
only-
the sweat tent?
And then some dudes
Yeah.
walk in with their junk hanging out, and
That's you,
she
yeah.
just is like,
Mhm.
"I got
Yeah,
it."
and she's like, all right, I'm out. I'm going to bed. And then she goes to bed. Too tired to go to Tel'aran'rhiod, hoping
Little finger blasting.
hoping to dream of Gawain.
Yeah.
Ah,
Mm.
Alan,
Wait, what was that gif? What
That
came
that
out
was
there?
that was finger blasting.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the old finger
little dream of Gollum.
little dream of Gawain.
She needs to be careful with it though, because she's now dream pregnant.
Mm.
Mm.
She's dream preggers.
What happens if you get pregnant in Tel'aran'rhiod? Do you get pregnant in real life?
Yes,
You guys
sir.
watch too much Sandman.
Yes, sir.
We need to do a review of that. That was, I know I'm getting off topic now. That was phenomenal.
Well, Ian and I are going to do a review of Lord of the Rings next Thursday because we were watching it on Wednesday night.
Ooh.
Yes,
Wait,
What?
I'm bringing a
Well,
friend.
we're recording.
Rings of Power came out.
No, it comes out next Friday. Not this Friday,
Oh.
but next Friday. But Ian and I got
We're going
pre-screening
Wednesday.
passes.
We're recording
You know what I did? I used the power of Lord of the Rings to make a friend. I got 2 tickets and I got it. Of course, I invited Meredith, but I knew she wouldn't be able to. And so then I just kind of blasted like secondary acquaintances to try and
Yeah.
root out a Lord of the Rings fanatic friend.
Yeah.
And I found one. And we're going to watch it together.
Wait,
At this-
have you seen it?
And I have a new best friend.
No, next Wednesday we get to go see it.
Where are you seeing it?
They have a sneak peek.
They have a
Bad
sneak
news,
peek
bro.
in Newport News. Actually, Amazon's doing it in the Cinemark Theater in Newport News.
Fascinating.
pre-screen.
They don't even have it in
Amazon.
Charlotte. How the fuck did it make it to Newport?
Newport News. I don't know, but we got tickets.
Charlotte.
Thank you, Alan Iverson. Thank you, Michael Vick.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
for bringing
It's gonna be
to
you,
Bed
AI,
Bath.
Pharrell,
Yeah.
Missy
Missy
Elliott.
Elliott. We're hanging
Yeah,
out.
We're gonna hang out and
Yeah.
watch Lord of the Rings early. So I think it's the first two
It's
episodes.
going to be up in the back, just kind of mixing the sound.
Do you have to do a focus group afterwards?
I don't know.
Are we gonna do a drunkest group before Alan?
Rob, it starts at 7. I don't know how much drunk I can get before, but
Did
yes.
you ever watch Silicon Valley?
Yes, I not all of it, but it was good.
Yeah. There's some good focus group scenes in that of just how stupid.
Focus.
I hope you have to go to a focus group.
Yeah.
Ian, Alan,
I
what do you
hope-
think about the first 2 episodes?
I hope they ask me questions.
Yeah, my wife was actually really upset with me that I got these tickets because she actually likes Lord of the Rings, and I came home and told her that I had tickets to see Lord of the Rings early. She's like, "You didn't think to get tickets for me?" And I was like, "Actually, no, I didn't think about that because when I watched the kids, like, we could have got sitters." I was like,
It's one or the other.
"Yeah, they're gonna get sitter and all this other stuff." So, do you want my ticket? Okay. I'm in the doghouse for it.
I was about
but,
to say, yeah,
Worth it.
yeah.
Worth
I'm in the doghouse
Yeah.
for it. It's worth it though.
Work
but
your-
I'm in the
your way
doghouse.
out of
Alan,
it.
Alan, I have a different relationship. I would be at home babysitting the kids, and she'd be laughing her way to be like, "You idiot! You didn't even think about getting a babysitter."
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm in the doghouse. and
So
that's
are
it.
y'all
So-
recording before or after we record on Thursday?
for what? Below the Ring? Oh, we're not doing record stuff. We're just gonna talk about it. No, we're not gonna talk about it because I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to. If it's anything like other pre-screenings, they make you sign a.
Oh,
I
wait.
think-
Rules are made
Whatever.
to be broken.
Anyway.
So
So
When's the Wheel Time season 2?
they have not announced
When
it
are, they,
yet.
when are they flying us out? To, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, last year they offered and I turned them down, and they even asked you guys.
Next time we're going.
If they had
Yeah,
offered
I couldn't go. Scheduling conflict.
on.
Next time.
I'll go.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll call it a conference.
Me
That's
plus
Yeah.
one. Yeah, Hunter's my plus one.
nice.
Yeah, they gave me tickets to the London premiere
Yeah.
last year, but I told them no.
I mean, we need plane tickets. If we had plane ticket money, I would.
Yeah. They only give me a week notice. I'm like, I'm supposed to drop everything and go to London next week. No. I have kids.
That's
and
why
a
you're
job.
not Matt. That's why you're not Matt.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
I would.
I know
find a way.
you would have gone.
I have
but,
at least a solid year still before I think about having kids. So
yeah, whatever.
That's not what Chanel said.
Chanel's like 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
I talked her down to 2, and then she's like, let's do 1. I'm
Oh.
like, yes.
See, I was joking. I was hoping, man, come on, we need a little Chris Chanel running around.
Oh, it's gonna
Mhm.
have
Am I
to
the only
be
one
weird.
excited to see that combo?
That'd be fun.
It's gonna be weird. It's
fun.
gonna have like
It could be
long
awesome.
arms and a short body. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it could be awesome.
Well,
And it's
Right.
gonna be tall with short arms. Anyway, so
we
the
have not
T-Rex.
talked about this waste of a chapter long enough. I mean, we squeezed everything out of this great chapter
yeah, we did.
long enough.
We
you
tried.
know, Chris summarized the important things in.
Anything we
5
missed from
seconds.
here besides Chris liking all Ian's Facebook posts?
we have more viewers tonight live than we have had on any of our YouTube lives.
And it's just
Hey,
being, and I'm drinking heavily tonight, so it's a
How
fun
many
one.
viewers do we have?
It's just
We
11.
had 12.
12
I've-
at one
oh my
point.
God.
I've had half a dozen surges and I'm about to open number 7. So it's
Oh.
been a great episode. been good.
Thursday nights seem to be a much better time for
thing.
people, and
There's so much that goes on every night. People complain about
Oh.
us moving to Thursday because there's other stuff going on Thursday. I was like, do you know how many things go on Tuesday? Like, there's
You
like
don't
20
really?
shit
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
My alarm
So
clock's
um,
going to go off at
it's-
4 a.m. and I'm just looking forward to it so much.
But it's Friday. Well, you
Caffeine, bro.
Weekends don't mean
Caffeine.
anything to you. Are you on rotation? Or are you actually like a practicing doctor? I didn't ask that question.
Both. So it's funny. I'm a general surgery attending, but but in fellowship, I do just for the most part. I'll like pick up some cases here and there, but I'll like tomorrow. I know we already accepted a kidney, so I'll be putting a kidney in at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Do you do procurement too?
Yeah, I do procurements. I flew to.
But are you get to do that tomorrow?
Oh no! I don't do last Tuesday. That's why I couldn't be on, is because I was on procurement call. But
Did you go fly around your private jet?
I not last Tuesday, but in the last in the last 2 weeks, I've gone to I've flown to Atlanta twice. I was like Chris Bridges stood me up twice. I was pretty upset about that. I was like, Luda, what's happening? And then I flew to where was it? It was Alabama, Birmingham.
I'm glad you said Thursday night was this.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah, you get there and you just start saying Roll Tide, and they just start hugging you, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not your cousin. Just
Well, if they hug too much, go just whisper in their ear, say "War Damn Eagle," and they let you go.
yeah. They'll let you go.
Yeah.
They'll let you go.
Yeah,
They're
there
like,
you
you
go.
tricked me.
So, favorite character?
Hunter.
Fairlane, easy.
Barely.
She got the
No,
kisses.
no, Hunter's my favorite character. Let me tell you, I enjoyed when you came on last time because it was a little bit of a blast from the past, but it does make a difference having the video. And I'm just good for the people listening, not watching. Let me tell you, the genes are strong.
Thanks, Alan.
People.
Well, I mean, Daddy Alan.
Right.
Hunter's adopted, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So that's the thing. Alan had me convinced you were adopted, but it's obvious to me now that you're not. Yeah,
it's like in Game of Thrones. It's like you see Gendry, and it's like, and they're like, oh crap, like he's a Baratheon, because he's the only,
stands
brunette.
out a little bit. Yeah, no, they're definitely brothers, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's relation.
So favorite character, really, like from the books.
Of the 3 chapters, all 3 of them.
All three, yeah.
Timanis.
Ah, yes, took mine.
No, you have
Struck
to pick,
it on.
no. Now you have to pick somebody else.
I pick
That's
someone
the
else.
reason I picked it.
Samuel
fuck
was
yeah.
mine. Like I was serious when I said the fact that he was able to hold this stuff together and then trick the trickster and make her think that, she gave up her friends, like she gave up the other Forsaken, like where they were. And then not only that, he put her to task. He's like, you will find the other ones and you will tell me.
And she accepted quickly.
Like that was straight up genius. Knowing what we know, which is Rand has got a plan to kill this man.
Mhm.
Part of me is like, how much of this will Rand be told? Because I didn't make the statement earlier. I meant to, but I just didn't get to it.
My favorite character is whoever's inside the stasis box.
Ooh, there's a person. Didn't think about
First name D's,
that.
Last name
nuts.
Chell Vannon's my favorite.
Chell Vannon, that's a good one. Yeah, the scout, the portly scout.
Yes, but
That's
like
still a threat. That's still a toss to Matt, really, because Matt put him there. But I do appreciate that he has his skills.
Yeah.
He could steal the wallet out of or steal everything you ever had, and like he's just a fat dude. You're like, what's he doing? Oh, I'm naked.
That's legit. Yeah, where are my
I think
clothes at?
Samuel's going to tell Rand where the other two are to try to throw him off. And then that's going to help Rand make his decision about not joining the White Tower.
Okay.
What do you think about Samuel owning or ruling Ilion? How long do you think that's going to last for?
Is it
5
for
chapters.
real though? Is it real? Is he really doing it?
Hmm. You know who was an Ileana
Into
soldier?
this book.
Time
Tam.
traveling Tam was an Ileana soldier.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Like Rand might be about to move in there, but then Tam goes back into the past because he can time travel. If you haven't been paying attention,
And he's like,
Mhm.
"Do you see these bees on my chest?"
boom,
Mhm.
Boom.
takes him out.
So yeah. So Chris had Samuel, Ian had Tomanis, I had the Oliver, and Hunter's Barreline. All right, cool. So next time
love
we'll
the
read.
smile.
We're only doing 2 chapters, just 2, just back to 2, 25 and 26, which are like lightning and rain.
Ooh, they're going after the bull. Okay.
I see
And
fire and I see rain.
and then connecting lines.
So to go back, I didn't even hear you talk about Oliver until just now. I forgot he was even in the chapters because I think I was
Yeah.
taking care of Thomas.
Yeah.
I think this is the first chapter. I don't know who Robert Jordan hated or who was trying to reference as Oliver, but this is the first time in the books, I think, that on sight someone hasn't seen Oliver and been like, "Ugh, that ugly motherfucker." Like,
Yeah, he
and
makes
it's
you
like,
jump. Yep.
It's like every single time anyone sees him, Robert Jordan's like, and his nose was too big, and he was an ugly piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
makes you jump.
and Robert Jordan has a little nephew called Oliver who cries himself to sleep every night.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he did try to kill Oliver at first, and he hesitated, and maybe it's because he saw his face. Ooh!
What the fuck was that?
Do I really
Now-
want
Tie your
to-
nose in a
Yeah, I
knot.
really
Now's
like
not
that.
the time for killing. Now's the time for science. We need to document this. What the
Jesus
fuck?
Christ. Found the missing link.
Yeah.
So
Pause the book.
so like lightning and rain, like totally lightning and rain.
They're gonna
Totes.
go after the bull. This is the first chapter where they
Okay.
talk about that.
And then connecting lines.
Connecting lines. Maybe they're gonna like put 2 and 2 together and start figuring out that if they just communicated, maybe they create a phone system where they can actually talk to each other. And
So I'm just going to tell you the chapter symbols for those ones. So like lightning rain's the Lion of Andor. So
Ooh.
nothing really
Ooh.
there. But connecting lines is the sunburst of the White Cloaks.
Oh.
I'm telling you, maybe they figure it out. Maybe they figure out they've been led by a dark friend or something.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, who's the dark friend that's running the White Cloaks?
The man who consists of boars.
Yeah.
From book 2. Yeah. All right.
So since it might be another year until we have somebody else in the medical profession on our show, this is unrelated to everything, but I just have to share. In all of my years of lifeguarding, the most memorable moment of performing first aid was when one of our female lifeguards was skimming the shallow end of the pool at the country club, and she wasn't paying attention, and a foot slipped, and she kind of fell awkwardly where her female parts landed pretty hard on the corner of the pool.
Her lady bits.
She was so terrified. She knew something was wrong, but she was so terrified she didn't want to look, and she needed somebody to look for her.
Okay.
I was that somebody.
Mhm.
They were perfectly fine. I mean, just everything was great. It was
I think you were like, I was super swollen, like horrible.
no, she was a-okay.
That's
Yes.
fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
She was a boy before that, and
Right. That's why I felt so okay with the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh man.
Sometimes.
Well,
All right.
join
Well,
the medical
Hunt-
field, and
Yeah.
you can see some disgusting shit.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hunter, I can tell you stories. I have
Like being
PTSD just
turned
from
on, not turned off. It's
Yeah.
By the way, Ian, Pell Grants can only be received as an undergrad. So your answer
Right.
earlier was yes. You don't get Pell Grants, so you get to grad school. You don't get any
Yeah.
federal or state grants.
That's what I
Yeah.
figured.
Sorry, Hunter. Your med school loans are on you, bud.
No,
don't-
you still get the forgiveness for those.
Don't you
You
worry.
just-
10,000. They're still federal loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
It's
just
not the
Pell
fucking.
Grant.
Good point. Okay.
Check the
So,
spreadsheets. There's only
Hunt-
74 more transplants, and you're golden.
Yeah.
Oh my God! In what country?
I left off a 0.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good.
But have fun with it.
Or
And,
you
and
can
again,
start-
thank you for your
I
service.
mean, you can start just selling the organs on the side. I mean, they go for a lot of money. You can probably.
Until next time.
Look, I've got 2, and I don't need them both, and I got bills to pay. I'm just saying that.
Who wants a kidney?
How much do they go for? Actually,
Hit me in the DMs.
On the black market?
Poor Jared. He's sitting there just like, please. You're like, I got 2, and he doesn't get one of them.
He don't even care.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's put the rate for so a kidney right now goes between $50,000 to $60,000 on the black market.
ooh, actually, that'd be.
It
very
goes for
helpful.
what?
50 to 60 on the black on average. They can go up to 160,000 on the black market. A kidney.
So, Hunter, I'm going to schedule a vacation for you and I together in Mexico. I'm paying for it, but I need you there. So I
I'll
don't-
take it out. I'll put it in for half that.
No, wait, I want double that. No, I'm on the receiving end, not of the kidney, but of the money.
Oh my God.
I think actually eyes go for the most, if I remember correctly. But
I like my
Why?
depth perception. I'm gonna keep both of
Yeah.
those.
I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
remember. There's someone posted one time, like actually the list of like what the black market price. Anyway, it's getting really weird. Yeah, what a weird way to end an episode. So yeah, so how you found is
How many
at the Will
questions?
Reads on all the social medias. TheWillReads.com is our website. Go check us out. You'll find links to all sorts of things like social media. You'll find links to our Discord, where we have a whole section to talk about organs. I mean, no, we don't. We don't have that, but we do have stuff to talk about other fantasy content and TV shows and memes and so forth and so on. It goes on and on and on. There's actually too many channels. I've tried to delete them, but never adding more. It's a thing. I don't know. I've lost control. And then also merchandise. You can buy merch. Hunter is drinking one of our nice little frosty mugs. You can purchase these on our yeah. There you go. Cheers.
Nice.
You can
King.
purchase those on our merchandise store along with t-shirts and shot glasses and all sorts of fun stuff.
Onesies.
Yeah, onesies. Yeah, we do have onesies for kids. We do have a baby line. Hunter, if you didn't know that, we do. So
Thomas is like the 95th percentile. He's like
yeah,
already
he's
above
he's
one.
already
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of yeah, he's
He's
already
like
out
a
of
full grown
onesies,
adult. Like
Yeah.
Get him a
that's-
men's small.
Well, your next one. Your next one.
Yeah.
Your next one. You can you can look into that. And also support us on Patreon. Patreon's a great way to support us. It actually pays for a lot of stuff like our
That's a good
microphone.
question for our Strider.
What? What's a
No
good question?
onesies for adults.
Onesie for adults. Yeah.
I
No, they
want
don't.
that.
The just left Tarvalin onesie.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah. Walk out of the room.
Chanel
all
would
smug,
appreciate
like, just
that.
left her Still don't know where North Harbor
Just
is.
visited South Harbor, then she
Yeah.
slaps me.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So get all the cool stuff there and go ahead and review us. Please, maybe. No, not for this episode. Don't review us at this one. Wait till the next one. And that's all I
Yeah.
got for
All
this
medical
week.
advice given during this.
Yes,
was-
episode. Yeah, legal disclaimer. All medical advice given
All a
in this
joke,
episode
not
is
real.
all jokes and not
Yes, there
real.
was no.
Please consult your doctor, and if you're in an emergency, please hang up the phone or stop the podcast and call 911.
Become a kidney donor. Do your part. Yeah.
Yeah, be a donor for sure.
Or buy a motorcycle. It's a good way to become a donor too.
Sure. Ride a
But
motorcycle.
check the block that you're a donor.
Yeah, check the block.
Yeah,
You're a donor. Buy a motorcycle.
Yeah,
It's fast track to donating organs.
have a
Um,
have a living will. All that good stuff.
And always wear
Yeah, all that good
sunscreen.
stuff.
Yeah.
And always
Yeah,
sounds great.
that definitely that.
Yeah.
And that's all I got for this week.
I'm pretty sure it's poison ivy. Until next time.
I appreciate a lot of things. Let's see.
Okay,
it.
bye.
See ya.